we're functioning to capacity, then we could pardon ourselves, okay, for this debt. But Tor has been reduced to a storage facility. It's now competing with Bust. It is not refining anything there. And we have to cough up such huge money. We are even being told that we need some $25 million to help revamp Tor. And that is irrespective of the debt that is sitting there, the 517 million. And it beats my mind. I can't get it. So, I mean, if Tor, a strong Tor, is working, you know the benefits that will accrue to the nation. You are going to have your reserves. You are going to have employment. You are going to help stabilize your city, because you are not spending dollars to buy finished products, but you will be refining here. So, I mean, we understand the acting MD has promised or given some assurances with the hope that somewhere in October, Tor will be up and running. We can only pray and ask that God gives him the wisdom and the strength, including the political backing, to help him succeed at Tor, because it's quite baffling, especially in these times where the Israel is doing their own thing, and its impact on oil and its prices here back home. And so if we had Tor running, then at least we'll have some level of comfort within that space. So please, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and Edmond Combat, Acting Managing Director of Tor, there's a call to you. Perhaps this is the time that we need to put in the right investments to get Tor working. After paying the debt recovery levy for over God knows how long, since 2003, we should not be here today at this point and not have Tor refining crude. Maybe, perhaps we can replicate what we have done in the mining sector, in the oil sector, and by this I mean the gold board, where we have seen the results of the gold for reserves policy and its outcome, positive outcome, of course. Maybe if we replicate same in the oil sector and have an oil board where companies that are lifting oil in this country are able to sell a percentage to Tor to refine, say 1%, 2%. So every 10 barrels that they dig up, 1 barrel or 2, representing either 10% or 20%, goes to Tor to be refined. Then you are saving your dollar. And mind you, this purchase or this sale should be done by the government through the Bank of Ghana in cedi terms. Let's not be buying it in dollar. Then, of course, this will help us, ensure some level of security within our energy space, a proper trade balance, some FX stability as well. This is my few thoughts on this matter. Shalom. Let's say thank you to you for patronizing the AgriFair 2025. It was amazing. It was awesome. We were happy to see all of you. We want to thank all our participants. We want to say thank you to all exhibitors. We want to say thank you to our patrons. You guys were amazing. You came in your numbers and you made the fair a huge success. This being our maiden edition, we are super grateful to you for being part of this groundbreaking event. We hope that we're able to achieve what we promised, and of course we hope that you're satisfied with the fair altogether. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you to our exhibitors. Thank you to our participants. And of course, thank you to our sponsors. We want to say thank you to the Ghana Exim Bank. Thank you to Legacy Crop Improvement Center. Thank you, Development Bank Ghana. Thank you, Agri Impact Limited, Horticulture Business Platform, Twillium Industries, and our technology partner, Farmer Line. We want to say a huge thank you to everyone who showed up, participated, took part, contributed to the AgriFair. Hopefully it only gets better from here on, and we're grateful to you eternally, okay, for being part of the AgriFair. Let's also remind you that we're still in the month of June, and so the City Business Festival is still ongoing. Our on-air series comes your way on Radio 97.3 City FM, as well as on TV, Channel 1 Television here, 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. respectively. We want for you to be a part of this because there's so many nuggets that you're getting for free through our on-air series, okay? We've picked up specific topics to help shape, to help grow, establish, nurture, develop, and expand your business. And we're bringing experts in these fields to speak to us on these specially curated topics that will help you grow your business. And so it's been ongoing from the first day of June up until now. We are ending on the 30th of June. Thank you so much for being part of the City Business Festival up until now. We ask that you continue to stay with us all the way through to the end. But let's say thank you to our sponsors. Absa Bank, you guys are amazing, having been with us throughout the entire festival. Thank you so much, Absa Bank. Thank you to MTN Ghana. MTN Ghana, oh, you guys have been with us through and through. And we're super grateful to you, MTN Ghana, for being part of the City Business Festival. Then we have Zonda Tech Ghana Limited. Zonda Tech Ghana Limited. Oh, fantastic guys. Thank you so much for sponsoring the City Business Festival 2025. Be on the lookout. We've had 2 fora already. One on the US tariffs and its implications on us here back home. Then there's been a forum on agriculture as well, harnessing the potential in the agri space. Be on the lookout for a subsequent outdoor events as well. There's a boot camp also scheduled as part of the City Business Festival, and we pray that you make time to join. But thank you so much, and we ask that you continue to look out for our on-air program and on-air series as part of the City Business Festival. Once again, thank you for being part of this festival. Let's now take you into the newspapers and bring you what the dailies are saying this morning. Front page of the Daily Graphic is where I'm starting from, and it's heavy on politics. NPP MPs must remain neutral, and this is of course on the back of the flag bearer primary. The story says, flag bearer primary, NPP MPs must remain neutral. Minority Leader Chairman Sabonsu, Arthur Kennedy share views. Flag bearer primary, NPP MPs must remain neutral. Minority Leader Chairman Sabonsu, Arthur Kennedy share views. Goil PLC posts 84.7 million cedis profits. Goil PLC posts 84.7 million cedis profits. Quash order to restore Ni Adama Lache II, Ni Takichuru urges Supreme Court. Quash order to restore Ni Adama Lache II, Ni Takichuru urges Supreme Court. Guarantee Trust Bank changes logo. Says Guarantee Trust Bank Ghana changes logo. GTech scrutinizes honorary doctorate titles. GTech scrutinizes honorary doctorate titles. That's the front page. I'll take you to the back page. Back page says there is sufficient fuel to last beyond 2 months. There is sufficient fuel to last beyond 2 months. And this is an assurance by the CEO of the NPA, as the Chief Executive Officer of the National Petroleum Authority. GIZ partners launch initiative for inclusive jobs. So that will be it for the Daily Graphic newspaper. Let me take you to the Ghanaian Times. Ghanaian Times front page says 1 billion cedis to retool security agencies. 1 billion cedis to retool security agencies. President Mahama announces 1 billion cedis to retool security agencies. President Mahama announces. Government earmarks 40 million cedi seed funding for fledgling public universities. And that's the Education Minister Haruna Idrisu speaking there. Tax Force cracks down on illegal miners in central and eastern regions. Confiscates 12 excavators, other machines. Tax Force cracks down on illegal miners in central and eastern regions. Confiscates 12 excavators and other machines. 2.5 million girls to receive HPV vaccine beginning September. This is attributed to the Ghana Health Service, GHS. It says 2.5 million girls to receive HPV vaccine beginning September. When you go to the back page, there's a story from the Upper East region where World Vision creates livelihood opportunities for vulnerables in KNWD. That's the Kasina Nankana West District of the Upper East region. World Vision creates livelihood opportunities for vulnerables in Kasina Nankana West District. Kunsu slave Caves to be transformed into World Prayer Sanctuary and Eco-Tourism Hub. Kunsu Slave Caves to be transformed into World Prayer Sanctuary and Eco-Tourism Hub. That's the Ghanaian Times newspaper. The Daily Guide is also here, quite heavy on politics as well. NPP flag bearer race, Bawumia Ken clash over leadership. NPP flag bearer race, Bawumia Ken clash over leadership. 5 Nigerians arrested for car thefts in Kumasi. 5 Nigerians arrested for car thefts in Kumasi. Efija Kwabre South MCE's house set. Oh wow, it was quite disturbing. Efija Kwabre South MCE's house set ablaze. Whew. Anyways, U.S. Embassy warns Ghanaians over visa violations. U.S. Embassy warns Ghanaians over visa violations. That's the Daily Guide newspaper. Let's get to the Chronicle. What's the Chronicle saying this morning? On the matter of Galamsey, it says Galamsey menace, Ghana is heading towards doom. Presby pastor warns. Galamsey menace, Ghana is heading towards doom. Presby pastor warns. Police bust car thieves in Kumasi, all Nigerians. Police bust car thieves in Kumasi, all Nigerians. National Security retrieves 83 ECG cable drums in Kumasi. National Security retrieves 83 ECG cable drums in Kumasi. Now you have a scripture for the day. Psalm 118 verse 6. The Lord is on my side, I will not fear. What can man do to me? The Lord is on my side, I will not fear. What can man do to me? Psalm 118 verse 6. May the Lord add his blessings to the reading of his word. And you go to the back page of the Chronicle, however, you have a number of sports stories, mostly on the ongoing FIFA Club World Cup. Boca Juniors face already eliminated Auckland City. You have Benfica must avoid defeat against Bayern to qualify. Man City's Lewis given further too much ban. And Chelsea project excited me. Dilap on why he joined Blues. That's the Chronicle newspaper this morning. The New Republic says Kevin Ochery in $90 million oil Sakawa. The Sakawa here is in inverted commas. Kevin Ochery in $90 million oil Sakawa. G-Tech boss Jinapo hijacks college powers. Shields NPP principal from probe amidst financial scandal. G-Tech boss Jinapo hijacks college powers. Shields NPP principal from probe amidst financial scandal. Chief of Staff rolls out red carpet for investors. Chief of Staff rolls out red carpet for investors as Ghana eyes Chinese billions. Shatawale ignites firestorm, threatens FBI exposure against Kwame despite. Shatawale ignites firestorm, threatens FBI exposure against Kwame despite. Bouts over fugitive Oforiatta, OSP Manasseh backs at Jampo's illicit call. Bouts over fugitive Oforiatta, OSP and Manasseh back at Jampo's illicit call. That's the New Republic newspaper this morning. Let's get into some business newspapers. This is the Economy Times. Economy Times this morning says, BOG reaffirms macroeconomic improvement is driving CD gains amid IMF concerns. BOG reaffirms macroeconomic improvement is driving CD gains amid IMF concerns. Ghana makes fresh moves to expand its African export markets as baseline U.S. tariffs implementation looms. Ghana makes fresh moves to expand its African export markets as baseline U.S. tariffs implementation looms. Ghana's agro-processing revolution, stakeholders share concerns. Ghana's agro-processing revolution, stakeholders share concerns. That's the Economy Times this morning. The business analyst is also here. Business analyst says Fitch Solutions warns of rapid erosion of Ghana's reserves if gold prices decline. Fitch Solutions warns of rapid erosion of Ghana's reserves if gold prices decline. NMC Executive Secretary rates GJA President over 90%, backs second-term bid. GJA exceeded expectations, regained lost glory. That's Kwabena Dwumfoɔ touting his achievements. GJA membership ID card ready this week. And then Africa World Airlines to reduce airfares by end of June 2025. That's the business analyst. Now let me take you online real quick. I'll start off with channel1news.com. Channel1news.com. Constituencies must study NPP's post-election report to prepare for 2028. This is Patrick Yabuama, Member of Parliament for Kankwe Central, speaking there. He sat with Bernard Avila on the Point of View show last night, and he says constituencies must study NPP's post-election report to prepare for 2028. We'll bring you more stories from that particular interview. This one says, I would have lost to Kankwe Central seat if I hadn't performed well. I would have lost Okaikwe Central seat if I hadn't performed well. Again, Patrick Boama speaking there. 2024 polls. We would have done better if we'd listened to Ghanaians. Also attributed to Patrick Boama. We would have done better if we had listened to Ghanaians. Patrick Boama speaking on the 2024 polls. Now, Baumia's 2024 defeat was NPP's collective failure. That's Ebenezer Doku. He's a former MCE for Adentan. Speaking there, he sat with Charles Owusukumi on the Channel 1 newsroom last night. And he says Baumia's 2024 defeat was NPP's collective failure. NPP to open presidential nomination before end of July. That's Haruna Mohammed, a Deputy General Secretary of the NPP speaking. NPP to open presidential nomination before end of July. It's attributed to Haruna Mohammed. Ex-MMDCEs perpetrating political prostitution with Bawumia endorsement after meeting Ken. That's Asante Ochre. He's a political analyst, and that's his description of the MMCs endorsing Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. He says ex-MMDCEs perpetrating political prostitution with Bawumia endorsement after meeting Ken. Okay. Bawumia tops NPP flag bearer preference among voters. Bawumia tops NPP flag bearer preference among voters. That's a survey, and that's the results of the survey. Moving on, breaking U.S. laws can lead to deportation. Other consequences, embassy in Ghana cautions visa holders. Breaking U.S. laws can lead to deportation and other consequences. Embassy in Ghana cautions visa holders. 2022 trained teachers vow to sleep at GES headquarters over salary arrears and staff ID delays. 2022 trained teachers vow to sleep at GES headquarters over salary arrears and staff ID delays. Wase Kropong police arrest 23 in major anti-Galamsey operation. Galamsey doesn't seem to want to go away, but we wish them well. Police arrest 23 in major anti-Galamsey operation. This happened at Wasa Ekropong. 220 former MMDCEs declare support for Bawumia's 2028 presidential bid. We'll be looking at this particular story, going into the details to bring some perspectives to it. And then you have Sierra Leone's President Julius Maada Bio elected new ECOWAS chair. Sierra Leone's President Julius Maada Bio elected new ECOWAS chair. OSP Jampo dispute undermines public trust. It's politically dangerous. That's Wanda Madilu speaking there. OSP Jampo dispute undermines public trust and it's politically dangerous. That's Wanda Madilu speaking there. All right, let me take you to citynewsroom.com. Let me take you to citynewsroom.com real quick. Citynewsroom.com also has Patrick Boama saying that the NPP has lost its strong leadership culture. NPP has lost its strong leadership culture. He made this comment during that interview with Bernard Avila on The Point of View last night. He says NPP has lost its strong leadership culture. GMET workers demand immediate implementation of conditions of service. GMET workers demand immediate implementation of conditions of service. Lawful, but is it helpful? A biblical lens on NPP's early presidential primaries. Fred Jabano writes, lawful, but is it helpful? A biblical lens on NPP's early presidential primaries. Fred Jabano writes, let's fix the party before choosing a flag bearer. Patrick Boama to NPP. Let's fix the party before choosing a flag bearer. Patrick Boama to NPP. Call NPP to order. Patrick Boama urges Kufuor and Kufuor. Says call NPP to order. Patrick Boama urges Kufuor and Kufuor. Kufuor deeply worried about NPP's current state. Again, that's Patrick Boama speaking there. Kufuor deeply worried about NPP's current state. Nobody forced us to endorse Bawumia, former Adentan MCE. Nobody forced us to endorse Bawumia as the former Adentan MCE speaking. That's Ebenezer Doku speaking there. Then you have 2024 elections have shown Ghanaians don't make mistakes. That's Patrick Boama speaking again. He says 2024 elections have shown Ghanaians don't make mistakes. Recall of 3 career diplomats unjustified. Former Deputy Foreign Affairs Minister speaking there. Recall of 3 career diplomats unjustified. As a former Deputy Foreign Affairs Minister speaking. Party discipline collapsing under weak NPP leadership. That's a political analyst making that observation, saying that party discipline collapsing under weak NPP leadership. Then you have ex-MMDCEs endorsing Bawumia lack political principle. That's Dr. Asante Ochiri speaking. He says ex-MMDCEs endorsing Bawumia lack political principle. We'll be looking at that story also on the show, because these same ex-MMDCEs met with one flag bearer hopeful before meeting the latter and endorsing him. So we'll be looking at that, having a conversation around this particular story, and of course other interesting stories dominating the media space. This is Breakfast Daily here on Channel 1 Television. I am Nana Tufo Boate. Stay with us. When we come back from this break, the news review segment begins.
Come out. Ghana Weekend turns up the lights. From the hottest red carpet moments to the wildest after parties. And for all your celebrations, anniversaries, and unforgettable moments, if it's happening, we're there. First, fast, and fabulously. The front row pass to Ghana's A-list lifestyle is just a click or a channel away. GhanaWeekend.com and Ghana Weekend TV, where fame meets the fans. Promote your next big event with us, because when you party with the stars, the whole nation of black stars should know. Visit GhanaWeekend.com, watch and subscribe to Ghana Weekend TV on YouTube. Stay connected with us across all platforms. Follow us on Instagram with the handle at GhanaWeekend.com, on X at Ghana Weekend, on TikTok Ghana Weekend, and on Facebook at Ghana Weekend. Join the Ghana Weekend family today. Ghana Weekend, all access, all gone, all yours.
Where politics meets power, where the tough questions are asked, welcome to Face to Face. Every Tuesday at 9 p.m., join Umaru Sanda Amadou as he takes you face to face with the key players shaping the future of our nation.
I lost over $10 million at the trade fair.
You had a fight with the management of trade fair?
I don't have a fight with them. I just deplore the way they went about what they did.
Let's talk about the chief prosecutor of the state at the time that you were being prosecuted, Godfrey Yeboah-Dame, the Attorney General.
Yes. I think he was directed to jail us.
By who?
By the system.
Baku has been a failure for your government, though.
Can't be a failure.
You have not solved it.
No, you are not praising them, the previous government for solving Yende, which was even a more difficult case.
It's quite obvious that from these votes, the people felt that let's just let you go.
So they were disappointed
In us.
You are
better.
essentially the worst government in the Fourth Republic.
I don't know how you are doing that. If you based on the indicators.
Yes, based on the number of people who refuse to come and vote for you.
If that is your analysis, then why not?
No filter, no boundaries, just the truth behind the headlines. Deep, bold, and unflinching. Face to Face with Umaru Sanda Amadou airs on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV, where politics gets real.
The gentleman who is joining me today, I like to describe him as a true black star. He's a Master Sergeant of the U.S. Army, currently stationed in Korea, Mr. Samuel Amate-Ama, Master Sergeant Samuel Amate-Ama. Hello, let me give you the respect, soldier.
Wow, thank you. I like that.
So that's like half a tin.
No, let's add it in here some more. We're trying to make it rich because I know you're classy. You got to be rich. So based on that, we're going to add. Now I'm going to add something called the apple. Where's my apple juice right here?
Apple juice is here.
Why do I add the apple juice? Just to give it that apple flavor. I'm going to give you $100 bill.
Okay.
Hold on to that.
Okay.
This is going to happen. Anybody in the comments on social media, do you think it's going to be good with hair with the blue hair or the red hair? Those who want blue hair, just type in blue in the comments. Those who want the red hair, type in red in the comments. We're going to see who the winner is, and then you're going to choose one person yourself to come for the $100 bill. So we have the oil, just in case the butter doesn't work out, we use the oil, okay?
Okay.
Is it hot now?
Yeah, it's hot.
Okay. So I'm going to put a bit of the butter in there. Okay. Perfect. Could we swivel it around a little bit, not too much? In there, and it becomes more,
It works.
easily accessible to all. Get some jollof.
No, I trust you, and we'll use tasty. Oh my goodness! Just when I thought you weren't going to come today.
Why wouldn't you want me to come?
Because you come and eat all my food. This is one of my favorite things, and then you're coming to eat it.
What's Cooking is brought to you by Tasty Tom and Kivo Pepper.
This June, the business wave is back and it's bigger than ever. The City Business Festival 2025 on City FM and Channel 1 TV, where it's all about business. This June, we will be celebrating Ghanaian businesses, re-examining our business modules and practices through our business forum, and sharing knowledge through our on-air business discussions. Make a business date with the on-air series every weekday at 9 a.m. on the City Breakfast Show on 97.3 City FM and 10 a.m. on Breakfast Daily on Channel 1 TV. From expert interviews to real-world insights to the tools you need to grow. Don't miss a single moment this June. It's the City Business Festival 2025, celebrating everything business. Only on City FM and Channel 1 TV. Your business, your future, your time is now. Stay tuned, stay inspired, and let's grow together. The City Business Festival 2025, celebrating everything business.
The City Business Festival 2025 is powered by 97.3 City FM and Channel 1 TV, and it's proudly sponsored by Absa Bank, MTN Business, and Zonda Tech Ghana Limited.
Hello there. Thank you so much for choosing us. This is Channel 1 Television and you're watching Breakfast Daily. It's time now for the news review segment. I have my guest in the studio. The show is very interactive. We'd like to hear from you. We'd like to know your thoughts and your comments on the various topics that we will be discussing. So join us via WhatsApp and, of course, on YouTube, Facebook, and on X. We're there. We're live on YouTube. Well, my guests are in studio. Let me do a quick introduction and then we begin the conversation. To my immediate right is the Honorable Member of Parliament for Afajatu South, Frank Efriye. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Anna.
Good to have you. Good to have you. Seated next to him is the former Member of Parliament for Anya Sotum, the Honorable Dixon Adumakokisi. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good to have you. Let's get straight into it. We'll start off from the camp of the New Patriotic Party because some 220 former MMDCEs have endorsed Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. Dr. Bawumia has declared his intent to contest the flag bearership position of the party. Which primary or which race has been slated for January 31, 2026? Now, these former MMDCEs who have endorsed Dr. Bawumia after a meeting yesterday earlier met with Kennedy Ejapong, former Asin Central MP, who has also declared his intent to contest the flag bearership race. Now, we've had a lot of commentary surrounding this. Some have even described the ex-appointees as engaging in political prostitution. But, Doc, let me start with you. It's not just two people who are going into the race. In fact, nominations have not yet been opened. And so what do you make of these former appointees declaring or endorsing an individual as against the others?
Well, let me thank you for the opportunity and good morning to you and your viewers. You do a very important job. Let me start off with the date, which has been proffered as January 31 for the presidential primaries. And the election of a new flag bearer. We're of the opinion that to make every candidate get a fair chance, that date necessarily will not be in the interest of the party. And I say this with the greatest of respect in the sense that when it is done, then what? If anybody feels unfair, it might make it very difficult for whoever wins to have the entire party with them. And if you become a flag bearer of a smaller grouping within MPP, your chances of winning the general election is reduced. And for that reason, I'm troubled by the fact that if we're not careful and do not follow past and agreeable constitutional provisions of doing building your base upwards, then we may, if we had apathy at 2 degrees, we'll be looking at apathy at maybe 38 degrees if we go this way. That is my worry. However, I must admit, quite frankly, that Dr. Brady Champon is very ready. And I think the other candidates, because I believe one of them is very comfortable with this, is also ready. So it's not necessarily about candidatures' readiness, but the opportunity to market themselves and make a strong case, and then also to ensure that the base of the party is ready or in readiness to go and work and bring our party back to the executive office come 2029 January. So that's one key thing.
The date is just about 6 months out. Is that ample time? Is that enough time?
That is why I'm thinking that, we need to make sure that there's a fair playing ground. And when all is done, it's not skewed to one direction and that the candidates have an equal chance. If not, you may become a flag bearer of a smaller grouping within the MPP. And that is recipe for losing the general election. So are we choosing or making flag bearership a priority over the presidential, race itself? And we need to be guided by just what happened in our immediate past. Now, moving on to the declarations. I remember Honorable Afeyomakin, the current minority leader, was very clear to us, even in the 8th Parliament, that he felt strongly that our defeat was contributed largely to some of these declarations, which made some people very upset. You know, and he advised strongly against the members of Parliament doing public declarations, in the sense that if things even go bad, basically they should be the ones who further the reconciliation process.
Right.
And that is in the interest of the party, that our current members of Parliament conduct themselves in the same manner as the leadership of Parliament, so that they stay neutral. And let me also add that, you know, en bloc declaration is no guarantee. Even in my own small experience, when the entire chairmanship of my constituency declare for you, there are no guarantees that their polling station will fall in line. In fact, there are some places where, you know, the polling station people do not like even the chairman. And for that matter, his declaration might even sway them to go the other way. But be it as it may, if you're a very serious-minded politician, you come to terms with the fact that, listen, open declaration is no guarantee that the person actually may even vote for you. And let me add that, one, there was an initial story of the MPs, and just by cursory glance, that room did not have 50 people. Neither did it have 30. And it begs the question, the integrity of, you know, the contents that they put out. That were there 60 people who were members of Parliament in that room? No. And I think it was an editorial glitch, maybe. And in this game, numbers matter. And I was not expecting that really from that bit, because I believe that you know, your integrity is at stake, and when there are less than 30 MPs in your house, you don't go saying 60 plus. At any rate, declaration isn't everything. So that was done, and then fast forward, about 10 MMDCs take a stance and make a declaration, and in about 2 hours or so, another, you know, more than the 10 also say that, listen, we went and had discussions with all 3 of these people. At no point did we make a declaration. So why would the bad apples, quote unquote, go and make this public declaration that all of us, be it as it may, these things are very crucial. And let me share with you the reason why it was politically mature for the MMDCs who even decided to do this, to do that. Because Dr. Brian Champon, in the NEC meeting, was making a strong case that the MMDCs should be added to the next register for the elections. So if you are people being considered to be put in the register, and you make an opening declaration for one candidate, does that not worsen your appeal to be added? It wasn't. So this shows how unfortunate, misguided, and not well thought through the whole idea of declaring, because people are making a case to add you to the register, and you are already telling us that when I get into the register, this is what I'm going to do, and you've already increased your resistance to this. And as it stands now, whatever happens, the people aligning with Kennedy and Brian Champon and the other candidates will say that, oh, if you've made this declaration, who in their right sense will then encourage you to be added? You know, when it became very obvious to John Boadu that the TESCON folks were going to lean a certain way. There was a court case that was put on TESCON for our internal elections, and they didn't vote because somebody felt that bag was in somebody's pocket. Do you get my whole point?
Yeah.
So I would advise that moving forward, if anybody has intentions of declaring in the interest of the party, listen, after all, we know declaring to me is no guarantee that you vote. Assurance. You understand? So
what does that mean?
What I'm saying is that
on that note, let's say good morning to Larry Dogbe.
Yeah,
the editor of the newspaper.
So my key point is that any astute politician is even more wary when people are giving you funds. Oyomo, massa, only for you to be laughing at the wrong side. And to conclude on this, one, in the interest of the party, for cohesion, and for us to move forward, these opening declarations, and listen, let me even add that a few days ago, the General Secretary of the party, after the supposed MP's declaration, came out and said that it was unfortunate, unacceptable, and if not some reasons, I mean, these people will be sanctioned for doing opening declaration because of where we are as a party. And if we are minded by the findings of, our post-election
the Kwe committee,
opposite victory, I won't use the word, but opposite victory.
A defeat is a defeat, so I try to give it some name.
Opposite victory. It was so clear that our candidate then, with all those public arousal and fanfares, led us to the ditch, or shall I say, to the slaughterhouse, and we got slaughtered. And this has been our worst performance. And the truth remains that even the 88 seats we won on the presidential, we lost more than that.
Yeah.
Which is a huge blow in about 8 regions. 0 presidential.
Yeah.
And
and people really haven't paid attention to that.
And these are the things that, somebody was laughingly saying that the MMDCs who were there are the constituencies where we even lost the most. And for that matter, they shouldn't even be out there talking. So my key
please
thing,
wrap up for me.
My key thing is that, listen, we are not perturbed by the declarations. But the
the Brian Camp,
the Brian Champon
Camp, right?
And well-meaning party faithfuls. When you have less than 10 people declaring, and then you claim that the entire 200 plus are declaring, I mean, that's your take. Another group came out within a few hours. These days on TikTok, they say a few moments later.
Yeah.
So a few moments later, another batch of, MMDCs came out and said, hey, we were in the room with you. We did not do an open declaration. How then do you act as a bad apple? Especially, as I'm saying, when we have interest in being in the register. Why do you go and do this to us?
Very well.
And I must say, not all of them are political prostitutes, as you were alluding to. And I think
these are the words of a political analyst.
Well, I mean, and I'm saying that if he had seen a few hours later that video of other members of the entourage saying that, hey, this is unfair. How can over 200 go and then 5 or so of us go and stand somewhere and say that, oh, we've done an open declaration? And what killed me is that he said they have a statement. Yes, we can all have statements, but is it signed? When you're doing a petition, the people that signed should be people that can be identified. Yeah. And at that level, if you've been a former MMDC, I would hope that you you can appreciate governmental or governance. And for that matter, I cannot go and make a statement that Dogbe stands with me as MPP when invariably I've just shared this platform with him. I don't have a right to go out after this meeting to go and say that, oh, Dogbe, editor of
The Herald.
The Herald is strongly with me as MPP when he hasn't said that.
Right.
So it is unfortunate.
Sure, thank you, Doc.
And to stand with Afenyomarkin and the General Secretary of the party, we should not encourage, and I say this with the greatest respect to those who handle Dr. Bawumia, that listen, let's not encourage this. We have a party to build, and let's return to the core values that make us MPP, which is democracy and the rights of the ordinary people on the floor.
Very well. Thank you, Doc. Honorable, I don't know if this observation is true, but with all that's happening with the MPP, this should excite you as an NDC MP.
Not really. But let me use the opportunity to extend greetings to the good people of Afajato South and, of course, our viewers across the globe. In the interest of multi-party democracy, it is absolutely imperative for us in the NDC to take keen interest in what is happening and, if possible, proffer some solution. By way of free consultancy. Free consultancy. You see, the reality is that we enrich our democratic architecture when it's multi-party.
Right.
One man show sometimes doesn't make it exciting. But for us, we see this whole thing as a family affair, and then the level of intrusion will be measured. We think that it's indeed a troubling time for the MPP, and coup should prevail. It is as if there is a family now without elders. And that is how this whole show is turning out to be. And the endorsement...
Could that be the reason why they are looking to elect a flag bearer earlier?
Well, no matter what, when you turn democracy upside down, it is no longer democracy. For all these parties, we have constitutions, we have conventions, we have laid down processes of achieving results. So ordinarily, you want to build your party from the base, because whenever you have problem, the problem you have at the base is most significant, is huge at the base than at the top of the party. And it is often very easy to settle scores at the top rather than the base because of level of illiteracy, understanding, and the rest. And so if you really intend to fix your party machinery genuinely, you do not start from the top. What you must seek to do is to build a strong base, a strong foundation upon which your building must sit. Indeed, elsewhere, I said the MPP is attempting to install a king before putting together kingmakers. It doesn't make sense. Even in our traditional setting, you must get your kingmakers who peruse all the candidates and, of course, take every legitimate measure in order to land a perfect candidate for that throne. That way you can guarantee that governance will be at its best. But you see, the endorsement by these MMDCs, for me, is of zero effect. It's of no consequence. There is absolutely nothing in our body politics like one for all for one. Yes, especially so when you are dealing with people who are likely to be about 60% the cause of MPP's woes. I have been part of government before, and it is the case that after the fight that ends with victory, party officers are considered for various positions, including being chief executives. Some of these chief executives have not been voted for. Almost all of them have not been voted for, unlike those of us who are MPs. When you are an MP, you enjoy legitimacy. You know very well that your face was on the ballot paper, and therefore you need to be accountable material-wise, your time, dedication, commitment, and everything. But you see, we haven't inched closer to where, or we haven't got to where we need to elect our MDCs yet. We haven't elected them. And so most of them operate just as autopilot. There's no accountability, arrogance of power, as Bhamia himself has made us to believe. At the village or the local level, you make somebody's day by even accommodating the person to your office. It's not just about how much you give.
Yeah.
But some of these chief executives, they actually rub it in, showing to party people that they have arrived. And indeed, it's accounted for a large chunk of the reason why they suffer so much apathy from within. And so if this group of people who are now seeking, excuse my words for lack of a better word, relevance, are now going out endorsing a particular candidate, then that for me reinforces one other cardinal point. Which point is that duty bearers within the MPP, people who occupy strategic government position, they are trying to evade accountability from within. Otherwise, you were in power. You were in charge of substantial amount of resources. How come you drop so low by way of electoral performance? You claim you delivered ABCD, certain key thematic areas at the local level, at the national level, and you perform so abysmal. And these are the people who are now endorsing candidates left, right, center. For me, I think it's even a blessing for those who have not been endorsed. They should be jubilating by now, smiling all the way to the bank, because this kind of endorsement is certainly not helpful. If you like, put this to a test. Go to any district, get the chief executive who is endorsing any of the candidates, get potential delegates to vote, secret ballot, and you see the result that will come out. And so there is going to be a competitive election within the MPP no matter what. Even if maybe the candidate of the establishment wins, I hold a strong view that his machinery has even crash landed ahead of takeoff. I'm telling you the gospel truth. Yes, because the approach is raw, it's crude, it's unrefined, it's unhelpful. You see, when you serve as a flag bearer, coincidentally, you are like the father of the party. So, at the the barest minimum, you take absolute responsibility for everything that ensued or happened. But when you now go shaking responsibility, attributing the cause of your defeat to others and accepting none, on top of it, one of the greatest things you could do was to consult with people who have contested with you in the previous primary. Muhammad did so. At a point, Professor Joshua Alabi contested him. And he managed, post the electoral defeat of the NDC, he managed to bring all these people on board. These are not arts that you mastered in the public space. You go to them. You use your back channel diplomacy and reach out to all these people. Because you see, it is not about winning the internal primaries. What is at stake is whether you can win the general election. And I'm telling you that the machinery has already crash landed.
How? The machinery?
The MPP machinery for 2020.
The entire party machinery.
It has crash landed. It doesn't really matter who will become the flag bearer. Yes, the rate at which it's going. I'm telling you the absolute truth.
These are some of the things that the leadership say they're trying to solve by going into the primaries early.
It's a wrong fix.
That it will give them ample time to heal and prepare for 2028.
It's a wrong fix. The leadership itself is engaged, with the greatest respect, in scratch my back, let me scratch yours. If you have generals like party chairman, general secretary, so and so, national organizer, look, you took this party from people who brought it to power, and you were in charge of countless amount of resources, with a party that enjoys so much visibility, the MPP, and you brought this kind of huge humiliation, defeat, electoral defeat. Instead of accounting for why you are where you are, Your preoccupation is how to do an early Congress. For what? And they claim that the flag bearer must be out there, visible, solving the problems of the party. It is not for nothing that candidates who stand in the name of the NDC and the MPP always perform very well in general election. It is because of the machinery that they represent. The party structures. So if Dr. Bawumia or the Honorable Kennedy Agyapong or the rest are that formidable, capable of winning election on their own, they should go and try themselves as independent candidates. I'm telling you the gospel truth. They won't cross 5% mark. Yes. And so any, excuse my word, right-thinking party officer should rather be interested in fixing the party from the base. But not to say that, look, let's run away from all the problem. Let's go, take a flight to the top, elect a flag bearer, and now the flag bearer will be able to do solve all the problems. How can one person fix all these problems? Even the rate at which the internal processes are going is big enough for anyone who loses at the primaries to say that, oh, I won't cooperate. I'll sit and see how things unfold. And so for me, the whole show won't help the MPP. This is the time for elders within their fold to say, hey, guys, let's pull the brake. The trajectory we are trying to traverse will not help us. Will not help us achieve our overall game. Which game objective is that we are winning, or we are going to win the 2028 election. But for us in the NDC, you can see, we are trying every possible means to fix the rot we have inherited. The economy is being fixed. I mean, every sector of the economy is bouncing back. And that is what Ghanaians are expecting. At the barest minimum, we hope to have a very strong, responsible, constructive opposition that will be walking meticulously the path of democracy. And so by that way, Ghanaians will say, oh, these people have recognized and realized their misgiving, their shortcomings, and the rest. But the rate at which they are going is so annoying. You ask that, how can a candidate, a flag bearer, who once upon a time told all of us that E-Levy was good, after losing, he says that, oh, he knew E-Levy was bad, and yet he approved of same, defended it as the head of Economic Management Committee. He sought to take all the credit, then now he runs away, even from his own
publicly,
boss.
I mean, even during the debate in Parliament, has publicly put out there that he's always been against the E-Levy.
No, that's just for the cameras. I mean, your action must prove it. Your action must prove it. And you know, this is the same person who told us, all of us, that look, how could government prioritize building of cathedral? Where was he? You were second in command.
But not the one in command.
No, second in command.
But not the
It's
chief.
as good as potentially the one in control. When you are second, you are warming up to be...
You can only advise.
You are warming up. Indeed, has he advised? He told all of us that, look, he was just an obedient mate. When the vehicle was skidding off the road, going to that dangerous slippery slope, he couldn't even advise the driver, please, pull the brake. We are going off track. And so the only consistent factor about Dr. Bawumia, for instance, is his inconsistency. Of course. But I wouldn't like to dwell on him. For us, we are so okay that let's mind our business. Let's deliver the tangibles to Ghanaians as they've given us their mandate. That way, we are very sure that when we even beg Doc to come and be our flag bearer, assuming we do not have people, he will win on the ticket of the NDC.
Very well.
As it stands now, the rate at which the NDC
is
going,
that attractive?
Absolutely attractive. Absolutely. We are in Parliament together. We converse with them. Just like Doc has said, how can about 20-something people go out there when cameras are clear? We all have the ability to analyze and count. And you tell us over 60 people. I mean, how?
Camera no lie.
Camera no lie. The evidence is there. And you see, so, and so it means that internally then PP is still not ready to patch itself of this whole ills.
Very well.
That made them to suffer.
Very honorable. Thank you. Thank you. Let me hear from Larry on the MPP and its early Congress and, of course, endorsements, open declarations, and all. Your thoughts?
Thank you. Before I start, I have some, confession to make.
Please do.
You know, Frank was my senior in secondary school.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think it was just a year.
No, it was 2 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are you trying to expose the man's age?
Oh, no. No, he was a good guy. I mean, he never meddled in, the usual abusive, seniors attitude and so on. He was a good guy. So I'm happy.
He didn't homo you?
Oh, no. He didn't. I mean, he'll come to a, dining hall. And I mean, the man will sit somewhere, minding his business. It's like, Charlie, we are here to learn. We are not here for,
theatrics.
Yeah, theatrics. Yeah. The own to me kind of theatrics.
But you didn't mention the school.
Bishop, of course.
Let him mention,
Biako.
Biako. Now, talking about MPP, I think that there's trouble coming. Yeah, there's trouble coming. Because it appears that it's just a few people who are committed to this, top-down approach. Instead of the bottom-up.
Yeah. Which has always been the case.
Precisely. Now, I am foreseeing a situation where this approach will lead to the election of an individual who then influences who becomes the constituency executive, polling station executive, regional, executive, all the way. Exactly. Sure. Now, what you then have is a situation where people wouldn't be committed to the party's cause. Okay, because I wanted to be
polling station executive.
Exactly. But because flag bearer didn't like me, I couldn't become. And so once I couldn't, I can't support his bid. You get it? And it cuts across, all through. And so that is a disaster looming. Okay. And having said that, I think that this whole thing came out of the Professor Michael Quay report that is still hidden. That is still hidden from everybody. The role of the government then led by President Akufo-Addo. His failures, all the things, the performance of the various ministers, those who were supposed to sack that he didn't sack, the family and friends thing that he did, which were, which were glaring. That people kept complaining about. For the first time, we had MPs even saying that, listen, fire your cousin. Because his management of the economy was bad. He refused to. Okay? So we haven't appreciated the content of the Okwe report.
Yeah.
Okay? So that the party guy down there would know that even he also contributed to some extent towards the performance of the party eventually. Now, the national executives, what they did wrong or what they did right, if it's wrong, they could correct themselves. If it's right, they could build upon it. And others could also learn from it. That also hasn't been appreciated. The report is being kept somewhere.
At the Vatican.
It's become like the Mona Lisa, in France, where you can only, this one you can't even see. In the case of the Mona Lisa, you can see it.
Yeah.
Okay. But here, this one you can't see, and you don't know what is it. So what was the main reason behind, that enterprise, and how much money went into it? Who is supposed to learn from it and correct himself or herself? Okay, so I mean, the issue goes deeper. But then some people say that, listen, hey, because of that, the content of that report, we want to do something so that we can save the soul of the party. And to save the soul of the party is that let's do the top bottom.
Yeah.
Why? Why? Because each and every issue, has to be addressed. What are we addressing?
You think if they share the committee's report with us, it will make
I
much more
believe
sense?
that, listen, it will be such that even you would have known that, okay, Asimesi, you know, squandered party resources.
Yeah.
What was supposed to go down didn't
get down. Yeah.
Okay, it was hanging, or it was diverted into somebody else's pocket. And you know, some of those things then serve as a deterrent to future leaders. This one, no. The same people who are part of the problem are the same people who are now who are now preferring, you know, solutions to whatever it is that has been created.
And that's one of the accusations, that the executives are manipulating procedures to entrench their own positions.
Precisely.
Because if they should go into an executive election now, that's what I call it.
You know, and I've heard party leaders, let's say former party leaders, MPs who keep talking against this approach. They feel that no, it's not good enough. Open up the process. In any case, people have even passed on. Okay, Afenyomakin. People, okay, Afenyomakin.
He is calling for neutrality among MPs.
Yes, and then Chemeza Bonsu, and then who? Atta Kennedy.
Yeah.
Atta Kennedy, is he part of the? Is it still part of the party? Anyway, you won't talk now. So you know, so we really haven't appreciated the extent of defeat of the MPP, or maybe they themselves also haven't appreciated it. Let's cover whatever it is, you know, hide it somewhere, so that we carry on business as usual. That is where we are, and it's not good for them. Open up the process. Let everybody, you know, contest. Those who have the capacity to do that, let them go ahead. Let's also appreciate the Akufo-Addo factor that led to the defeat. For now, he said, okay, he's been shielded in a bunker somewhere, and that all his failures or all his successes, nobody is appreciating it. Indeed, he's not even talking.
Yeah.
He's not even talking. I mean, for 16 years or more, he's led the party. Won you remember when the 2016 victory came? This is unprecedented. Over 1 million votes. They have totally, you know, massacred Mahama. He will never come back. So and so. And then upon your exit, see the numbers you left the party with. We are now debating whether it was 38% or 40% or 42%.
We lost.
No, but the opposite of we.
All loss is a loss. I beg you. Don't take me through that mental, you know, thing. A loss is a loss.
You know,
Please.
So no, but we have to appreciate the numbers because you guys, you know,
for record's sake.
Yeah, for record's sake. For record's sake, we need to appreciate that.
Men carry me out.
You know, then you have the MMCs. Somebody was asking, so how many MMCs do we have now? So Kennedy Ejimon hosted 284 or 86.
Yeah.
Then Baumia had how many?
220.
220. And then Brian is having how many endorsing?
No, we haven't made any claim.
No, there's somebody.
We haven't.
I had. You read the news today.
Have you met with them?
We've met, but we haven't made a claim that they've endorsed.
How many did you meet?
I don't have the number. But my point is that we have not made any statement.
Yeah.
It was a closed door type of meeting. And unfortunately some videos are out. But you know, we haven't made any.
They haven't endorsed Brian.
We haven't made any statement like that. We were just engaging them and, you know, having a sort of an engagement to share his visions, his struggles.
Right.
So it's become very imperative that we take stock of the numbers of MMCs that you guys have, because suddenly we are dealing with all manner of numbers.
You need a Venn diagram. Because the numbers that supposedly declared for Vice President and then Kennedy, when you add, it's more than the 88.
Okay.
That's why I say you need a Venn diagram. There'll be some who fall in both. Yeah.
The subset of the other.
So we have all this. I mean, we can only laugh.
Yeah.
Because it's becoming very, very, amusing.
Why should you even chase for declarations?
Well, in politics, declarations are,
But what's the guarantee that a declaration will manifest into a vote?
Oh, I mean, you see, MPP believes in a big man theory.
Right.
They do believe in a big man theory. That is their biggest challenge. Let's face it. Unlike NDC that tries to do the grassroots. MPP, what the top says is final. And sometimes it could go against you. I mean, in both ways. The NDC is down there, It's not always the case that the numbers, must influence whatever. Sometimes you need a deep thinker to influence your action. But MPP most often leans on the big man at the top, the Oga at the top, and it goes against them in many cases. He would agree with me, on that. So sometimes, use the endorsement. Imagine Akufo-Addo steps out there to say that he's endorsed by Umia or President Kufuor. Alan had issue because Kufuor didn't, and he went to town virtually, attacking.
And we've heard some of these endorsements, open declarations, and yet we were told to fear delegates. So that's why I'm asking if there's a guarantee in there.
Well, at the end of, for me, the delegates now, for whatever is happening now, it appears that there are no delegates now. Do you get it? Because, Honorable, I mean, let's admit, some people might have fallen ill. Others might have passed on. And you need, you need an election to replace all these numbers. So at the end of the day, are we going to have, a lesser number of people or delegates now voting for who becomes the flag bearer? So there are so many things wrong with this, top-bottom approach that the MPP would have to address. In any case, at the end of the day, Mohammed's numbers are quite huge. The NDC's numbers in parliament is equally huge. And we want a situation where we wouldn't have a dictatorship. Do you get it? The other day, they went to parliament one day, by the time we were
one
city levy had been slapped on us. They said, where did this come from? Let's debate it.
They call it midnight their own MPs.
Yes.
To date, we don't know what happened.
No, exactly.
Oh, no, that's not true. We debated.
So you need a very vibrant opposition. You need somebody who can, keep the system on its toes, so that we can tease out, the good aspect of all this democracy. But if this is what the minority is, the opposition is presenting us with, trouble is coming, and we need to keep praying. Yes. I think that President Kufuor also didn't help matters in the last election, where he was out there very vocal, playing an active part in the last election.
As in the general elections
or
the primaries?
In the general elections. I think so. I think what he should have done was to, his personality now transcends a lot of, this local party.
But that was a general election.
But that's a general election.
I'm coming.
And he said that
Honorable, listen to me.
That brought him to
Honorable, listen to me. So he could, if he had stayed back, today he would have been the guy bringing everybody together, including Akufo-Addo, to the table that, hey, Menu Aketua, you failed this country. You have failed this party. And that, hey, come, let's talk over this. And then party executives, come, let's have a meeting over this as to the way forward. But from what is happening now, I don't think he can even summon a meeting like that.
He should be able to.
He should be able to.
Like that, I mean, the general election is way different from the party primary.
Guys, is that?
I'm saying that the general election is different from the party primary. So if the general election is over, he should be able to at least initiate a process to bring unity.
When he calls for a meeting, Kennedy Japan will come to that meeting.
He should be able to invite him. If it doesn't show up, then that's different.
During the primaries.
He spoke during the general election. And the general election, the party he belongs to has presented
He said so many good things about Baumia even during...
Because he was the candidate of the party.
Are you listening to me?
Ahead of that even.
Yes. Why? Google it. I mean, it's not for me. Google it. He said so many things about Baumia.
A few good words.
A few. So I don't think Kennedy Japan will go into that meeting.
You never know.
Well, but talking about Kennedy, I think that some of the campaigns or transfers are Charlie, we need to manage ourselves very well. The ethnocentrism
And the
of
religious
Stephen
aspects.
Amwa, the religious thing of Stephen Amwa. The which one? They're saying that we, as an MPP, we more like, what did he say? That they came out with poverty alleviation strategies for most of the Zongo communities, and then you know the northern country. That is stereotyping. True or false?
True. To an extent.
To which extent? You know, listen. I don't know. You know, there are poor people in my village, or poor people in my region.
The Catacross.
In what's the name of his constituency? In Shaiso,
Shaiso.
where he comes from. I'm sure that there are, you know, poor people over there. When you are doing some of these things, you're not saying that you're doing it for a particular class of people. You are doing it across, you know, on board. And so your utterances, that was childish. That was total.
When was this?
He said it over the weekend. Yeah. I mean, that was childish. You don't talk like that. Campaign for your candidate. Project his qualities. If he has, you know, if he has them. Okay? Talk about his temperament. Talk about his, you know, how resourceful he is, or how he can use his whatever personality to advance the cause of this country. But not this, you know. Anyway, thank you.
Right, let me take a few quick messages and then we'll continue. This one says, greetings to you and your producers. In fact, it's on record that former President Kufuor got 39% in the 1996 elections and later won the 2000 elections. Dr. Bawumia got 41% in the 2024 elections. And so it's not entirely true that the 2024 elections was the worst performance of the party so far. It's also clear that the presidential candidate won some of the constituencies that the parliamentary candidates lost, and vice versa. This is Joe Baba from Bogatanga. This one says, good morning from Sydney, Australia. I really appreciate the good work you and your panel have been doing. In fact, I want to fearlessly state that NPP is ready to delete the party if they continue with this election of flag bearer project. The party needs to be reorganized first before thinking of whoever becomes candidate, because if that person is elected as flag bearer, he will be a leader for only a few of his followers. Nelson from Australia sent that one in. Good morning. The MMDCs are about 300 in number and not 273. Honored the invitation to meet Dr. Bawumia. 220 out of the about 300 MMDCs endorsed Dr. Bawumia, and it becomes news. The rest can declare for the other candidates. The MP for Nshieso constituency, Honorable Sticker, declared her support for Honorable Ken, and it's okay and fine. He's even said Dr. Bawumia cannot be president because he's okay, let's not go into that. No, I'll leave it here. When the messages go in, it's not good for morning TV, so we'll leave it there. But then let's do a final take. Honorable, for this reverse of the bottom-up approach to this top-down approach, if the people down there feel that they have been denied the opportunity to either maintain or change national executives, would they be confident enough in determining who becomes flag bearer?
Listen, I think this is not the first time. I'm like, the Democrats in the US, 50 states, they've changed their executives and are ready for, you know, forward march. What is stopping us as a party of one state?
You are the apostles of democracy.
You know, what is stopping us? I think that we are misguided, and that we've as it is lost our way. Well, respectfully, we all know it's public news that our chairman is incognito. He's incognito because of health reasons.
Yeah.
As a medical doctor, I can understand. And you know, even in our constitution, even the president, when he's frail to some extent, he can be impeached or you know, let go. And even members of parliament, when you start hearing things in your head and behaving bizarrely, you know, with some schizophrenia or something of that sort.
Is that what's happening?
No, I'm making my point. That
No,
there are reasons.
you can't make that point, you know, without any scrutiny.
It could
This
be.
family has issued the
Yes, and then
letter.
mention cognitive, you know, something.
Yeah.
What did they say?
Impairment.
Cognitive impairment.
Yeah.
Yes. So
are you saying that hearing voices or something?
No. So my
that's
key
just
point,
madness, isn't
no,
it?
No. Please, mental health will not be happy with you. So my key thing is that as it stands now, the party is sick. When your chairman is sick, the party is sick. To the extent that our last meeting at NEC, there's been an agreement based on health grounds to let Bute chair the meeting. So, and our constitution is so clear that in the absence of the chairman, the first vice chair. Is in charge, not the secretary. Now, we need to be very careful and think through that. Why will we not change and have a sitting chairman to take us through the next election for flag bearership? Because the vice chair, though acting, doesn't wield as much power, doesn't wield the mandate of the people who will be working for the next election.
But they voted for him.
No, are you hearing me?
I'm listening to you.
The vice chairman,
who is now acting,
does not have the mandate of a voted
national chair.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is that when we're going to face another major election, or we're coming out of this crisis, you need a firm hand, somebody who, without doubt, has been given the full mandate to act as chair. And let me say this, that with the greatest of respect, should we have a flag bearer before the chairman? Whoever becomes the next chairman of this party, the flag bearer will tell him that you can't meet me. You came to meet me. And that literally annihilates the party. The control, the power that the party will have is diminished. Diminished in totality. And we don't have a future. And it will be devastating. And I think that we should take decisions that will strengthen the party beyond 2028. I mean, for instance, it's 50-50. We can win or lose 2028. What we decide today should be a decision hinged on things that will keep our party strong beyond 2028. And I must say this, that if we're not careful, one will become a flag bearer of a small portion of the MPP, and you don't have the rest of the MPP with you for the general election. And you know, walking on a half leg, nothing against handicapped people. If you go to the next battle handicapped, we're in trouble. And I think that we need a candidate who would have been selected fairly and agreeable to the masses, not one that is forced on, not one that the game is skewed towards, which then becomes an unfavorable outcome for the general election. So I'll use this medium to say that, listen, though I'm speaking for Brian Champon, I think that the masses should listen, look at the data carefully. This person that said that, you know, the net loss, presidential was a loss compared to the parliamentary. That one is a fact. Whether we won Boko over, listen, the net loss. I was not talking, you know, so in some jurisdictions, you know, like in mine, Baumia got it, my MP got it. In other places, the MP got it, you know, the vice president didn't. But the net loss, though we have 88 MPs in parliament, there are fewer places that presidential we won compared to the 88. In fact, I understand it was like 70 or so, or 77. So it is a devastating blow. And the fact remains, in some regions it's 0, in some regions it's 1, in some regions it's 2. In some regions where we got 2 parliamentary candidates, the presidential we got 1. And this is the reality. Okay, and if in the local parlance, if we fail to go in total and dive into the data and then look at the data and say that, you know what, maybe to save this party, it might be better I step aside. I mean, that's just, you know, and is it just about me? And is it just about being flag bearer? or is it that we want to be in power? And Kufuor's advice still goes to all of us. If you are a messenger in a party that is in power, it is enjoyable. Right now, as we speak, 6 months into opposition, la ilala ilala.
You're feeling it.
It's not easy.
Thank you very much.
It's
Gentlemen,
not easy.
I'll come to you to give your final thoughts on this matter, but let me take a quick break here. When we return, the news review segment on Breakfast Daily continues.
Searching for a family-friendly dental practice? Hi, I'm Tanya from Bethel Dental Clinic, Ghana. People do not always want to go see the dentist because that visit is oftentimes associated with noise, pain, and a hard, cold environment. To encourage everyone in the family to look forward to a dental visit, I will advise you that you put some thought in selecting a family-friendly dental practice. It should have a warm, welcoming atmosphere for both adults and children. A comfortable reception with good comfortable chairs, nice music, some good beverages and cold water, good TV programs, toys, books, and even a game console for the children. Because your family smile matters, please make time in selecting your dental clinic so that everyone in your home will be happy to see the dentist.
Introducing Betway's Bet Influencer, a groundbreaking feature where you can make money by just sharing codes. He just needs to share his codes and make money. The more his codes are used, the more money he makes. Oh yes, so what are you waiting for? Anyone can be a bet influencer. Share your codes and make money. Bet Influencer, another world first from Betway.
This advert has been approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Betway, get way more.
Meet Asantwa, a loving wife, devoted mother of one, and a celebrated business owner in her community. Asantwa has worked hard to save money, but struggled to find the right investment opportunity. With big dreams and a heart for her community, she always aspired to build a business that could provide for her family and create a lasting impact. Yet, meaningful business ownership opportunities were hard to come by until she discovered Jibu. Partnering with Jibu changed everything. Through her franchise network, Asantwa received the equipment, training and support she needed to launch her own business. Purifying and selling affordable, refillable drinking water, soon her investments began yielding strong returns, transforming not only her livelihood but also her community and environment. Today, Asantwa's dreams are becoming a reality. Through her Jibu franchise, she's creating jobs, empowering others, providing clean water, and building a brighter future for all. Jibu is transforming lives across Africa with a presence in over 8 countries and 10,000 communities. Join the movement and start your journey towards a better life. Contact us today on 020-984-5817. Jibu, a better life.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. This is the news review segment here on Breakfast Daily Live on Channel 1 TV. We have a few more minutes to go. So let's do 2 minutes each on this NPP matters, and then we can move into our second subject for the day. Honorable Fee, I'll start off with you. Wrap up your thoughts on the NPP, the endorsement, and the early Congress.
Well, Nana, thank you so much. I think that we said a lot about this whole thing. It's pointless repeating same pieces of advice. But I think that
which can and may be used against you.
It does appear that the NPP hasn't learned from its recent past. You recall not too long ago, Alan had to break away and form his own movement out of a very rancorous, contentious, unfair, and of course controversial internal computation or election. And I think that one would have thought that the party would have been guided significantly by such a major fallout. But it does appear that they haven't learned. And for me, that is my worry. You see, the battle lines, the red lines, every now and then keep extending with considerable amount of antagonism here and there from even within members of the same party. And it keeps snowballing, and that is where one will wonder that, look, the elders, the referees, the cool heads within the party, why are they silent? You see, you couldn't have a well-functioning party when you decide to say that, okay, the rider of a house is more relevant than the house itself. If you're a good rider and the house is sick, how then do you ride it to be competitive in a competition? You will not. And so the rider is as relevant as the house itself. And this is where the MPP is failing to take stock of this particular scenario, that the first and most important is that, yes, we need a credible candidate flag bearer, but then the machinery must be robust enough. The horse must be healthy, in a very good condition, in order to be fit for purpose for the task ahead. Okay? So you cannot jettison that. You cannot push that aside. And all you think about is that, let me begin by saying that, look, let me get a strong man, somebody who is already marketed, blah, 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 and that I'll be able to win election. Absolutely not. You won't fly. You won't go anywhere. And so you see, the conduct of the national officers leaves much to be desired. And for me, that's what I said earlier on, that it's just about a scheme that, let me scratch your back so that when it's my turn, you scratch mine. That won't help them. If their obsession is that we want to just get one particular candidate as flag bearer and then to remain in opposition, for us, I mean, that is good because we are delivering anyway. We are very confident that once you pay fidelity to the promises you made to the people of Ghana, they don't just take interest in changing government just like how we change diapers, excuse my words. And so I think that there is the need for some pointers to be sent out there. A lot of these potential aspirants do not have confidence in the national officers. At the very minimum, what we expect is that you see an interim management committee superintending this process, who are not necessarily national officers. You go in for neutral, people who inspire confidence and hope across the aisle, all the competing candidates. That way, you will be able to inspire that needed confidence and bring them on a common table. The losers will say, okay, we have had our fair share, we haven't won, let us join forces with the party and move on. But the rate at which they are going, as I said earlier on, they have already crash landed.
Diminishing return.
Like, final thoughts.
2 minutes. See, I want to pick this in from this point. MPP has always pride, you know, is that the word? Itself with this thing about they being apostles of democracy. The doyens of rule of law, the so and so of all manner of accolades. Okay? And so very often you hear them that, oh, we're the ones that expanded the electoral college. We're the ones that deployed ballot, you know, transparent ballot boxes. We're the ones that fought against the
presidential before parliamentary.
Yes, we're the ones that, you know, brought the photo album thing. You know, the ID card with your image and everything on it. We're the ones that brought in the indelible marker.
First to do so many things.
First to do so many things. Good for, you know, for the audio. Do you understand? Now, today, after going all that, today see what they are doing. They are denying the grassroots their participation. They are denying the grassroots their participation.
And it will cost them?
It's obviously. Obviously. Everybody, I mean, most key people are talking. Minority leader has spoken. the former minority leader is also speaking. Kennedy Ejepong, Atta Kennedy, who you call, a renegade general, chasing the elephant into the bush. Boache Jaku is speaking. Patrick Boama has also spoken. So many people are out there talking. Well,
Patrick Boama has called on Kufuor and Akufo-Addo to intervene.
You get it. I mean, for Akufo-Addo, for me, if he talks, people will go at him. So, for his own safety, he should just, just skip to wherever he says. But the guy who brought this, calamity upon you.
He may have contributed, but
he may.
History will.
Bro, he may
be generous.
History
will be kind to him.
It depends on who is writing the history.
The situation we're in. It calls for people.
He's taking 2 minutes of my time.
Oh, sorry.
Carry your life.
So, but the Akufo-Addo fact, I'm saying this because it was under his leadership that Paul Afoko was kicked out because he couldn't work with Paul Afoko. It was under his leadership, flag relationship.
Not just Afoko.
I'm coming. Kwabena Jepong was kicked out. Sami Crab was also kicked out.
But Kwabena later came back. Kwabena later came back.
The position.
Oh, the general secretary position.
Nyaho Tamaklo was also kicked out. So you only have to talk about the leadership at the time. Flag bearers, contribution. I mean, how the party is being run. And then you are kicked out through a petition, filed by CK Tadem. Most of them late. I mean, the old man then, I hear he was so peaceful that, he couldn't be doing some of those things. But then they kick you out. Have we seen the benefit of, the fallout from that? Where you lost an election miserably. And now you are so scared to take the party back to the grassroots for them to decide, how to build it. To a point where you are imposing, setting measures on them. I mean, for administrative law purposes, which they always boast about, that we did this, we did that, we did that. I'm just hoping that somebody, will take this one also to court to say that, listen, this approach is not good for internal democracy. People have contributed so much towards MPP, to where it is, or for you to call it a political party. But for you to reduce it to this thing where, purely an executive dictatorship. This is what we want. Get the flag bearer elected, and then the flag bearer will then choose who becomes, executive from the down there up to the top. Because he decided, okay, I can work with this person. You didn't support me during the, the thing, during the primaries and so on. And so, total chaos. I keep saying it's coming, and it's already. It's already here.
Very well, very well. Let's move to Tamar Refinery. We're being told by the acting CEO, Combat, that the refinery is set to begin full operations by October this year. However, on the flip side, there's a $517 million debt sitting there, and I'm wondering, because we've been paying toll recovery debts levy since 2003.
No, 2001.
2001.
I think so.
So why are we here at this point? Good news if they resume operations, but this debt that is hanging on it. So there's, how do they overcome this?
Okay. Since you're looking in my direction.
Essentially, I say that you are part of the problem.
The key thing, let's appreciate the industry. In all honesty, looking at the oil refinery and its revenues, projected revenues, then $517 million isn't troubling. Let's be very, it's an industry that is very cash intensive.
Yeah, true.
Or shall I say capital intensive. I remember following Dangote's oil refinery and how much money. We're talking billions of dollars. So I think that we should put that in perspective, that the oil industry is very capital intensive, and for that matter, you can be labored with huge debt. Now, without a doubt in my mind, this has gone through different presidents, or shall I say different regimes.
Yeah.
So the favorite word in governance when we are all unaccountable is legacy debt. So I'll borrow that word today and say that a portion of it is MPP's debt, a portion of it is NDC, and not necessarily even Mahama or Kufuor or Atamils or Nanado Dankwa Kufuor. However, we are where we are, and you need a decisive leadership to be very firm in your head that they need to let the oil refinery work. Let me tell you, Dangote struggled heavily because of the forces that are outside his country, who didn't want the idea of having your refinery work, and I must say that these are some of the things that we need to be guided as a country. Tamar Oil Refinery should be a national security outfit and made part of the fabric of this country, so that it is run by the government and for the people, and with no recourse to who is party A or party B. And when we do that, and it is done irrespective of who is in power, I think would have been on a very good journey. Because I foresee this current CEO may have good intentions. Should the NDC lose in 2028, MPP may bring somebody else. And that is troubling for me.
Yeah.
So I think that to make it a national security outfit, and what I mean by that is that in America, so the companies that produce chicken are for the government and is run all the time because they can't run out of chicken. It's a national security matter, a food security matter. So looking at the world events happening in Iran and Israel, which surprisingly, I mean, in opposition, the NDC felt that
Russia, Ukraine,
world events do not impact Africa, for that matter, Ghana. But now they are finally appreciating that nobody lives in an island. And when Russia sneezes, your gas prices change.
Yeah.
When Ukraine does something natural, so I'm happy for once that the NDC is appreciating that this one Ghana levy thing, we better hold off.
Yeah.
Because this Irani, now whether America or Irani-Israel conflict will impact the way business is being run.
Yeah.
So I think that it's unfortunate that there's been poor management, and for that matter, all governments have contributed to this debt, not just the MPP.
Yeah.
And we as a country, I think, I'm speaking nationalistic here, need to make Tamar Oil Refinery a truly national asset and apolitical. And for that matter, maybe the CEOship should be made 6-year tenures.
Okay.
Firm, 6-year tenures, so that it would overlap whoever becomes president. And that CEO will be ready and emboldened by Parliament to work without, fear or favor. Or should it happen that maybe if Parliament should be the appointing authority, quote unquote, then that one dissipates the executive authority on the CEO so that he can carry that duty without fear or favor, and it does not become a cash cow for any political party.
Very well. Honorable Fie, can we replicate what we've done in the mining sector, in the oil sector to help revive Thor? I'm talking gold board. Can we have something sort of an oil board where the oil board will perhaps make purchases through the Bank of Ghana? I mean, especially from those lifting or drilling here.
Well, I mean, I think it's a conversation we can all decide when we sit on a common table going forward to have. It doesn't lie in my place as an individual to make that blanket emphatic, declaration. But I think that it's absolutely important to, as it were, correct a record that Doc sought to put out there. The NDC, the Russian-Ukraine chorus that the MPP sang all along, everything. If you had headache, migraine, it was Russia-Ukraine. Look, and COVID, Russia-Ukraine, everything, Russia-Ukraine. Indeed, there was a caveat. we maintain that Russia and Ukraine do not manage our economy for us. In a build-up to prices of petroleum products, there are certain key variables. You are talking about, market prices. You are talking about your forex. You are talking about your margins, your levies, and the taxes. And so, much as I agree that the global prices may not be within your control, these are exogenous factors that control it, and then you may not have control over it internally. But it is your responsibility to manage your economy and your forex. As we can see now, the economy is doing quite well. The cedi is performing strongly against all the major trading currencies. And so even the increment we are likely to experience at the world level, the impact will be quite minimal compared to if your forex is out of control. And so you have a sensitive government who is also futuristic, projecting and say, look, we have passed a tax, which tax was meant to cushion Ghanaians from the kind of release that we are giving them to be to last long. But then we just realized that something that has not been budgeted for, almost conflagration within the Middle East, is potentially likely to make prices go up at the world level. And so let's put a hold onto the levies. I think that is what every responsible government should be able to do. And Mahama has done same. And we must credit him. Doc, so going forward, I think for me, what offers hope is the position of the current MD. That TOR is a very profitable enterprise. That we can run it and be able to settle our debt. We can run it, and about 45 to 60% of the fuel need of the nation can be absorbed by TOR. And I think that for me, these are the major takeaways. That leadership, strong, constructive leadership, should be in position to take decisive policy measures in order to change or turn around an ailing state facility like TOR. It is almost inexcusable for us to say that TOR should be lying idle when other players, private players within the industry, are taking advantage of the facility of TOR and are making huge sums of money. Look, TOR there stolen. Why will you refine for private industry players and at the same time be running at loss? They use your facility to store. They use your facility for transportation. In all these traditional obligations that TOR does, for me, it's inexplicable that such a huge debt will be lying on the books of TOR. And what for me is mind-boggling is that for almost 5 good years, the account of TOR has not been audited. Look, these accounts sometimes, they are very good corporate measures that send signals to you as to the risks, the prospects, so that when you go to the boardroom, you are able to readjust and say, are we complying regulatory-wise? You are able to account financially and every other way. Okay? These are the reason we carry out audit. But for a government to ignore such high standard corporate obligation, like auditing the account of TOR for well over 5 years, I think that something should account for that. And so you see, TOR is in a position now under the new management, as we can see, to revive its operation by September, October, based on the threshold given by TOR, the new management. We are likely to see the operationalization of the CDU and of course the RFCC. If we are able to bring on stream the production of LPG, gasoline and the rest, I mean, clearly TOR will rake in a lot in addition to some of the traditional areas that they focus on.
Thank you. Larry, you take us home on this one. TOR.
Yeah, so, I mean, from where am I? My senior. From where my senior ended. See, Tor is one of the biggest national assets we have.
True.
But because of leadership failure, we are here. Even under Jerry Rawlings, the military, whatever, then moving on to become a civilian, Tor was running, two of us. It was running. Yeah. And I think President Kufuor also tried to revive it to some extent by doing the recovery levy. I recall Osafo going to Parliament then to push for that, including the National Reconstruction Levy at a point in time. Now we keep paying. Anytime we buy fuel, we pay. Yet we never finish paying. We never. So for 20-something years, 22 years, that debt is still there. And guess what? Government upon government, had a board in place.
Yeah.
Okay. Board of directors in place. And they were sitting and collecting allowances.
Taking monies,
Yet the facility in itself wasn't benefiting us directly.
It's not a store.
Yes, it's not a store. Okay, it's not a store. And then, see, the private companies were rather profiting from it.
Exactly.
I mean, sometime last year or so, we heard that Centio was supposed to, the government was having discussion with it to take over the running of that. I mean, so meaning that there's a market. Meaning that it is relevant. Meaning that if government was serious about it, we could get it working. Okay? We could get it working. And then this thing about always importing fuel and then that importation, whatever, is also slapped on it, that we have to pay.
Yeah.
I mean, bro, it's quite senseless. It is very, very senseless. But much earlier, under the Kweku Bekun administration, there was also another discussion as to getting one other company to take over Tor completely.
Yeah.
And it became a fight between him and then the Flasterbows.
Yeah. Even the Tor workers themselves.
And even the Tor workers themselves even also stepped in. Back and forth. I think the last time we heard he was arrested in the UK. And then extradited to the US also, And so, Tor, I don't know what else we could do. But, I mean, see, if Kwame Nkrumah, how many years ago, could conceive an idea like that, why can't we? I mean, 20, how many years on?
You think we should have had about 4 refineries by now?
Absolutely. Oh, I mean, see,
or even more.
Yeah. I mean, the capacity, yes. At the point, I think it was bigger than most of the refineries in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And today, we are here. We are always importing. We are only importing. We are not adding anything to whatever it is. We have board of directors paying, getting allowances.
Yeah.
Getting allowances every now and then. I recall in 2017. When the Akufo-Addo took over, President Mahama also had procured a certain facility. His administration had procured a certain facility, some machine like that, that had distillation something unit, and people they got to work on that, just got it blown up.
Oh
yeah, the story is there. Got it blown up. Maybe we didn't get
have the technical.
Yeah, we didn't have the technical knowledge. Or it could even be a pure sabotage.
Right.
You get it? Because if others are making profit out of that, why can't we, as a people, profit from it as well, so that the cost of fuel will be,
very well.
Yeah. So that instead of importing the, the finished product, we could rather bring in the crude and then refine it and then sell it at a cheaper
rate.
But it appears that the importation of fuel has become,
we enjoy that one more.
Yeah, we enjoy that one more. And then the money, will go around.
Very well.
And then you could have the 1 CD, levy.
Levy.
Yeah.
Very well.
I think people are profiting. And the earlier we get to working, the better for all of us. So that at least, let's see if it comes on, whether or not the cost of fuel will still go down further. So that the suffering will be
a bit minimized. Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, unfortunately, we'll have to leave it here. That's all time will allow us. But thank you so much for your time this morning, your contributions, and of course, the knowledge you have shared with us. This has been the news review segment here on Breakfast Daily. Stay with us. The show continues after this break.
One thing I hate in my life is heat, or to sweat whilst I am asleep. That is why I don't joke with my air conditioners. Not just any air conditioner, but Franco air conditioners. It's good for the Ghanaian weather, and they are filled with R410 gas, which is very friendly to human beings, which is not harmful to human health. We have 1.5, 2.0 and 2.5 horsepower. So what are you waiting for? Walk into any Franco branch now and grab for yourself quality, affordable and energy efficient air conditioner from Franco. Visit www.francotrading.com or call any of the numbers on your screen for enquiries or wholesale. Franco air conditioners, they are reliable, tried and tested by all. Franco, home of quality and affordable air conditioners.
Every day, people have money emergencies. Ma, I need my school fees emergency. Money chop money emergency. Emergency. Catch it. I'm your rent emergency. Now, there's a new emergency number in town.
More money, challenge and enjoyment. At the top life we got.
Dial star 770 hash for all your money emergencies and chop life.
Dial star 770 hash for money emergencies and get easy and quick access to your money, loans and other banking needs. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Introducing Betway's Bet Influencer, a groundbreaking feature where you can make money by just sharing codes. He just needs to share his codes and make money. The more his codes are used, the more money he makes. Oh yes, so what are you waiting for? Anyone can be a bet influencer. Share your codes and make money. Bet Influencer, another world first from Betway.
This advert has been approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Betway, get way more.
The gentleman who is joining me today, I like to describe him as a true black star. He's a Master Sergeant of the U.S. Army, currently stationed in Korea, Mr. Samuel Amatiama, Master Sergeant Samuel Amatiama. Hello, let me give you the respect, soldier.
Wow, thank you. I like that.
So that's like half a tin.
No, let's add it in here some more. We're trying to make it rich because I know you're classy. You got to be rich. So based on that, we're going to add. Now I'm going to add something called the apple. Where's my apple juice right here?
Apple juice is here.
Why do I add the apple juice? Just to give it that apple flavor. I'm going to give you a $100 bill.
Okay.
Hold on to that.
Okay.
This is going to happen. Anybody in the comments on social media, do you think it's going to be good with hair with the blue hair or the red hair? Those who want blue hair, just type in blue in the comments. Those who want the red hair, type in red in the comments. We're going to see who the winner is, and then you're going to choose one person yourself to come for the $100 bill. So we have the oil, just in case the butter doesn't work out, we use the oil, okay?
Okay.
Is it hot now?
Yeah, it's hot.
Okay. So I'm going to put a bit of the butter in there. Oh, good.
Okay.
Perfect. Could we swivel it around a little bit, not too much? In there, and it becomes more,
It works.
easily accessible to all. Get some jollof.
No, I trust you, and we'll use tasty. Oh my goodness! Just when I thought you weren't going to come today.
Why wouldn't you want me to come?
Because you come and eat all my food. This is one of my favorite things, and then you're coming to eat it.
What's Cooking is brought to you by Tasty Tom and Kivo Pepper.
And of course, we are grateful that you stayed with us here on Channel 1 TV's Breakfast Daily, and we are continuing from where Nana Tufo Boatin left off with the guest. And of course, we cannot move away from thanking you every now and then for what you have done for us concerning the AgriFair 2025. We just announced it here on Channel 1 TV and also on City 97.3 FM. But you made it a great one. You came in your numbers and you bought, some sold and all that. The patronage was amazing. Well, before we talk much of that, I am Philip Nilati and I'm here with
Chris Carter, and we're excited to be here with you this morning. Remember that you're part of the show, so feel free to join in at any time. Send in your thoughts, your comments, and your questions via the WhatsApp number on your screen, and we will get to read it on the show. But if you're watching us on YouTube live right now, all you need to do is leave all that thoughts, all the questions right on the comment section, and we will get to read it right here on the show.
So, like I was saying initially, we still want to thank you. Want to thank all our sponsors and all who came for this all-important event. We are hoping that the next one we will see everyone who wasn't able to be part of it this year. But Chris, to be frank with you, I still can't get over it because of the excitement, the sales. It looks like we will talk about it for the rest of the month.
Yeah, we have to talk about it for the rest of the month, especially to pepper those that refuse to come. When we were telling them, you have to be there, you have to be there. If you snooze, you lose. And they snooze, then now they lost. So, of course, we have to keep ringing it in their heads of what they really missed until they beg us and say, yeah, Pacho, yeah,
yesterday,
Pacho,
I think DJ Mingel and Echo, the two parties, followed. Yeah. They are not following one girl, though. They put a question out there asking the general public that how many times should AgriFair be organized in a year? Others were saying that it should be done quarterly. Others were saying that it should be done twice a year. People were saying that it should not just be in Accra. It should move to other regions like Kumasi, Takrade, Kufuor, Tamale, among other places. And it tells you the excitement. People in other regions that weren't able to come, but they saw it on TV, are really envious of the fact that people in Accra enjoyed. But this is what we can do here. The least we can do is just to bring all these vendors and these exhibitors together and to give you the best. As to whether it's going to happen in other regions,
you got to pray for us.
Maybe
just pray for us. Just anything is possible. I believe we can do anything. Just pray for us, and let's just have the right, sponsorship and the right investors to be part of it, and then who knows. Anything is really possible.
And the weather was very serene. A little bit of showers there, a little bit of sunshine, a little bit of
that's the tilapia
cloud. Yeah, the tilapia chips.
I really loved it. I can't get over it.
And I'm still amazed that we could convert tilapia into chips.
Yeah, and it looks like amazing. The foreign shrimp chips. You understand? So I really feel like. They should bring it out because they were actually testing the markets on that day. So after tasting it, I just told the lady, you know what, this is a hit. Just bring it out, especially for the fact that it's even made in Ghana. Just bring it out. There are kids going to school every day that want healthy options of what to eat, healthy options of chips. This is great. So why not just bring it out?
Make sure that you bring more of that. And this is what we encourage you. At least we try and give our viewers, our listeners, silence listeners, the listeners and all that, the viewers who would not send us a text, the viewers who also send us a text and all that, we are just excited. This is what we bring here. But just to remind you that the City Business Festival on Air series will also come on the show. Today, the discussion will be how Fintech is changing the business landscape. The host is Bernard Avila. So make sure that you stay with us here exactly at 10 a.m. and we will bring you that particular segment. But Chris, let's move to the trends. I think a lot of interesting things are trending. I understand today is Messi's birthday.
Yep. Today is Lionel Messi's birthday, and it seems like everybody is talking about it, especially his fans. And of course, if you're a football lover, you would know the name Lionel Messi. Yeah, so
between
that's
Messi and Ciro, who do you like?
I think Messi.
Messi.
His name rings a bell a lot in my house. Yeah. So let me just stick to that.
Wow, so
and of course he's the GOAT.
He's the GOAT, eh?
He's the GOAT.
Greatest of all time.
He's the GOAT.
So what we have here, he's participated in over 1,104 games and 865 goals.
384 assists, 8 Ballon d'Ors, and 46 trophies. Happy birthday to the greatest of all time.
Wow.
He turns 38 today.
Wow. 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 He turns how old?
38.
38?
Yeah.
And he's done a lot within this space of time. Wow. That's amazing. So happy birthday to Lionel Messi. That we all know that Messi people are chasing and all that. But also in there is the FIFA World Cup that is also ongoing. Among that is the NPP prime race that all the candidates are gearing up for. The camp of Dr. Baumia and also the camp of Kennedy Ejapon, the camp of Brian Echampon, the camp of Dr. Educhum. They are all preparing for the primaries that is slated for the month of January 2026. But interesting comments that are coming from the camp of Dr. Baumia, because yesterday the MMDCEs met the former vice president, and the former vice president with the MMDCEs that he met, they made mention that they've pledged their support for him for the 2026 primaries. So earlier yesterday, Dr. Baumia tweeted, and he says that earlier in Accra today, I had an engagement session with former MMDCEs from across the country. Our quest to bounce back requires the creative effort of all, and I urge my followers or patrons to join hands so we can prioritize or realize our objective together. There is this one that is really trending between Dr. Baumia and also Kennedy Ejapon. You know, Kennedy has been very strong in the space, saying that, well, I think I need to be voted for to become the flag bearer of the party. So there was this comment from Kennedy Ejapon, says that some only have rich ideas and nothing to show for it. Others turn ideas into results. Ghana needs more doers than not dreamers. And also, the former vice president, KG, said,
he replied,
I have rich ideas.
Oh my.
Poor people can also be president of Ghana. So it's just interested in the camp of the New Patriotic Party. You know, when primaries are about happening, you see it's like a family affair. People who becomes the head of the family, it depends on how well you've been able to deal with the base of the family. So we wish them all the best for the camp of the New Patriotic Party. And here at Channel 1 TV and also City 97.3 FM, we will be monitoring keenly what will be happening in the camps.
Right, and still on what's trending, this actually trended from yesterday worldwide, and it's also in the Ghanaian trends. And Iran actually fired missiles towards the U.S. bases in Qatar and Iraq.
So that particular story, we actually have the president of USA, that is Trump. Trump saying that there has been some sort of agreement so that all parties will cease fire. So you can see on the screen, I'd like to thank the highly respected Emir of Qatar for all that he has done in seeking peace for the region. Regarding the attack today at American base in Qatar, I am pleased to report that in addition to no Americans being killed or wounded, very importantly, there have also been no Qataris killed or wounded. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So that is what is coming from Donald Trump. But
the Iranians actually replied and said there's no been talk of peace. So
really,
yeah. They actually said there's no talk of peace going on, and there's nothing like a ceasefire or any conversations of ceasefire between them. So,
But it's if Iran and Israel do not stop firing, Trump high risk strikes may pay off. So for us here, we in Ghana, we are also monitoring what is happening within these two countries, Iran and Israel. That is also going to have a toll on fuel prices and all that issues here and there. Not long ago, we had the issue with the Russia-Ukraine war and all that. We just don't hope that such a thing is going to happen.
I actually found a tweet where he talked about the peace. He said, Israel and Iran came to me almost simultaneously and said, peace. I knew the time was now. The world and the Middle East and the real winners. Both nations will see tremendous love, peace, and prosperity in the futures. They have so much to gain and yet so much to lose if they stray from the road of righteousness and truth. The future of Israel and Iran is unlimited and filled with great promise. God bless you both. So that's when Iran said, nah, we didn't come to any table with you. We never called you. We never met with you. No, there was nothing like that. So the war continues. But my problem with this is like we were just all peacefully sleeping while the other two countries were doing their thing. That's Iran and Israel. I really didn't know how America entered the group chats. Like we just woke up one day and America is in the group chat and decided
Israel's baby is American's baby is Israel.
We get that, but we don't understand why you had to blow up their
base.
Yeah, their military base too. Two military bases.
Let's see how that turns out. If they are trying to see how the ceasefire is going to be, well, the world authorities...
Check out the missiles looking like stars and comets in the sky.
It's terrifying. People are scared everywhere. But let's bring you the video of the day. Let's see what we have for you. Let's put smiles on your faces. So the baby is like, if you feed me, don't try playing with me. It's either you are feeding me or you are not. They say the baby has anger issues.
The baby know what he or she wants.
Anyway, so after the video of the day, let's bring you our artist in and enjoy some soothing music from Jello. Enjoy.
Good morning, everybody. My name is JL. I'm so happy to be here with you. I'm all over the place. I get in this space, can't get out of here. You just want me to know you didn't like the way I made you feel. Take a deep breath and try to reflect, yeah. This is too much, I'm overwhelmed. This is too much, just slow down. And just slow down, come on baby, just slow down. And just slow down, come on baby, just slow down. But I pick myself up and dust myself off, I'm back in the race. You won't take up my time if we're not aligned, it's just not meant to be. Take a deep breath and try to reflect, yeah. This is too much, I'm overwhelmed. This is too much, just slow down. And just slow down, come on baby, just slow down. Sometimes you just need to accept it. Sometimes you just gotta move on. Sometimes you just need to respect it. Sometimes you just gotta slow down. Come on, baby, just slow down. And just slow down. Come on, baby, just slow down. I'm all over the place. I get in this space, can't get out of here. You just want me to know you didn't like the way I made you feel. Take a deep breath and try to reflect, yeah. This is too much, I'm overwhelmed. this is too much. Just slow down and just slow down. Come on, baby, just slow down and just slow down. Come on, baby, just slow down. Let me talk to you. He steady playing mind games. He had me lost and confused and slightly dazed, looking for a way up out of this maze. I was all wrapped up in your ugly ways. You lied when you told me that you was looking for love, could barely hold me. You claimed too much, you wanna control me. I was lost in your love, but that's the old me. I gotta stay focused. You won't have me messed up, you should know this. I'm quick to walk away, gotta protect my peace. If you wanna play games, slow down, slow down. Come on, baby, just slow down, just slow down. Can I sing y'all one of my favorite songs today? And just slow down. Come on, baby, just slow down. Yeah, very special. Yeah, sexy girl from Ghana. She too fine, one of a kind. I call her sexy Nana. Kojo on the instrumental, straight from Ghana. And I be killing every show, I be rocking every party. Sexy ladies pull up and do the dirty wine for me. Killing every show, every day I'm getting money. And I only wanna spend it on the girl of my dreams. Slow down, nah, nah, nah. Let me talk to you. Baby, let me talk to you, let me talk to you, yeah. Slow down, nah, nah, nah. Let me talk to you. Baby, let me talk to you, let me talk to you, baby. Oh, just slow down, just slow down. Thank you so much. Slow down, and just slow down, just slow down, slow down.
All right, so you heard it from JL, beautiful voice, and, you know, very interesting aura. Hi, JL, how are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you. You're welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
That's nice. You actually describe yourself as a multidisciplinary artist. What does that mean?
Yeah, so I'm a dancer, a singer-songwriter, an event producer, and a teacher. So all of
and
those.
A teacher?
Yes.
What do you teach? Really?
Yeah, I teach first grade, but next year I'll be moving into teaching dance full-time.
Where?
So I live in LA, and I work at a private school in LA.
Oh.
Right. Yeah. So what are you doing in Ghana?
Oh, it's a beautiful story. I studied abroad here in 2019. I went to University of Ghana, studied dance, traditional dance at the dance department. And I came back just last year after 5 years. that's kind of when my music career kind of kicked off. A lot of collaborations with different Ghanaian producers, making music in the studio here, feeling very inspired. And so, yeah, I had to come back this year, feel the vibes again.
She already has the vibe.
I told you. I told you there was something about her. I told you, right?
So you have some songs you sang yourself. How many?
I have 4 songs out right now.
Oh.
Yeah, 4 singles out right now, and I'm currently working on an EP while I'm here too.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes.
But have you worked with other artists, or is this just you?
Right now it's just me. I'm hoping to collaborate while I'm here. I have producers Jordan Beats, who's here in Ghana, and then YB, who is also here in Ghana. So I'm hoping I'm going to be in the studio this week, next week, so hoping to collaborate with more artists while I'm here.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
But she made mention of doing a number of things. I just want to find out from you, how do you do all these things? A teacher, a songwriter, a musician, everything.
Yeah, by the grace of God. That's it. I mean, I love music. I love to dance. So, I mean, it to encompass it all, it's quite easy. Just staying grounded in the music, staying grounded in community, and like the love of sharing my art too.
So at what point did you realize that, look, I can actually sing? Why don't I work with this singing? Because obviously being a teacher and a dancer, at what point did the music come out?
That's a good question. I think it was when my first song I ever wrote was about my ex-boyfriend. And I don't know.
What did he do?
No, he just loved me very well at the time. No, he did
But he's
very
an ex
well.
now.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's a good ex.
He's a good ex. We're on good
All right,
terms.
that's
Yeah.
good.
So it was just like a different feeling of love. And like one day he left my house and I don't know, I put on some beats on YouTube and I just started writing about how he made me feel and all of those different types of things. So I think it was like, I write music when I feel like extremely inspired. So I feel like that moment inspired me, and that's kind of how I started making music past that.
All right, so talking about music, who inspires you musically?
Oh my goodness. Amare, love Amare. Miss B, love her too. In the US, I also love jazz music. So Alex Isley, Jill Scott, Erykah Badu, those people have really big influences on my music too.
Wow, that's nice.
And you're looking at doing music more in Ghana or both countries?
Yeah, both countries. Right now, Ghana is like the incubator for my music. Like I come here to kind of get away from the stress. You guys were talking about the stress in America, so I come here to just kind of just feel inspired, feel relaxed, feel free to record and feel, make the music here and then go back and promote it and do all the things.
Yeah. So how do they feel about your music there?
Oh, they love it. I mean, I have a very small community right now, mostly of my friends and close family, but we're building. I've literally been doing this 9 months, so I'm very, very new to this. 2024 is when I really started taking it seriously, so hopefully we're just up from here.
Yeah.
Oh, just 9 months.
Yes.
So it's not like you started for a very long time, but you're doing well, I think.
Yes.
And where do you see yourself in the next 2-3 years?
That's such a good question. More shows, more collaborations. Hopefully by then I have an EP out and then hopefully an album coming after that. So more shows, different places. I want to travel to London. I want to travel to more African countries too. So, yeah.
All right, so talking about collaborations, who do you intend to collaborate with if you had to choose?
Yeah, Amare, if I could just get a studio session, just into the studio with her, I think that would be a real big vibe.
But when you started, I think I told you that she sings Asa, right?
Yeah, Asa, yeah.
You sing like her. Have you gotten in touch with her yet or something?
No. I think I just learned about her very recently, so that would be an awesome collaboration. Yeah.
I think she should. Yeah. Anyway, so you play for events. 9 months. It's young, but it's like something you're just doing as a hobby, or you want to commercialize it?
I mean, never commercialize, hopefully, but hopefully to make some revenue off of it for sure. Right now I have an event called Stories of Love, and what it is, it's an immersive art show that brings in other multidisciplinary artists, dancers, singers, visual artists, whether that be painters or drawers, and then also craft stations for people to make their own art as well. So that's called Stories of Love, and I've done shows in Phoenix, Arizona, and Baltimore, Maryland, and my next show is coming up in LA in August. So I'm hoping to really take this like creative hub and expand it and like bring it here. I'm hosting a listening event here on Saturday too. So bringing Stories of Love in East Legon. Yeah. Oh, it's at a house party. It's like a house party listening party. Pot of Gold residence. Yes, in East Legon. 7 p.m.
Is it coded place? Is it strictly by invite or we are all invited?
Oh, it's not strictly by invite. Anybody is welcome.
I like the fact that you've already immersed yourself in the Ghanaian culture because you keep, using the Ghanaian lingo.
I feel very much like a Ghana gal. Like
I'm serious. It looks like you love Ghana than
No, yes, I do.
What do you like here? What do you really love in Ghana?
Everything. I think most of all the people here are so welcoming and kind, and I even feel like very blessed. My career is doing well right now because of the people that have supported me here and continue to like hype me up and boost me up and the best food. I love watching.
Okay. Oh, really?
I love watching so much fufu, jollof, everything.
Okay.
You have a popular watching joint in Ghana you visit?
Oh, I've been to a lot of places. I don't think I have a favorite, though, but that early morning after the club, that watching.
Very important.
Exactly.
So, any social media handles if someone wants to listen to you or get in touch with you?
My Instagram is live4dance_.
Live for Dance _.
Yeah.
That's nice. And how can people listen to you on,
Oh, I'm on everything. YouTube, JL is the name. YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify.
Right.
Got that.
That's good. That's good. Anyway, it was really nice talking to you. We really enjoyed, your performance and also your aura.
Maybe she should come in next time to dance.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, do you guys dance?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Next time when you come.
Okay. Well,
maybe we'll do a watch it before.
Yeah.
So we can get the energy.
Yeah, so we can have the energy, right? Anyway, thank you so much, JL. It was really nice talking to you. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been speaking to JL, and it's been such a great conversation with her. But go out there and go and support her. Follow her social media pages and also follow her music journey by, following her on all platforms, Facebook, Apple Music, and Spotify. Just follow her as we watch her bloom to a superstar someday. Anyway, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back with more.
12 Politics meets power, where the tough questions are asked. Welcome to Face to Face. Every Tuesday at 9 p.m., join Umaru Sanda Amadou as he takes you face to face with the key players shaping the future of our nation.
I lost over $10 million at the trade fair.
You had a fight with the management of trade fair?
I don't have a fight with them. I just deplore the way they went about what they did.
Let's talk about the chief prosecutor of the state at the time that you were being prosecuted, Godfrey Yeboah Dame, the Attorney General.
Yes. I think he was directed to jail us.
By who?
By the system.
Baku has been a failure for your government, though.
Can't be a failure.
You have not solved it.
No, you are not praising them, the previous government for solving Yende, which was even a more difficult case.
It's quite obvious that from these votes, the people felt that let's just let you go.
So they were disappointed in
us.
You are essentially the worst government in the Fourth Republic.
I don't know how you are doing that. If you based on the indicators.
Yes, based on the number of people who refuse to come and vote for you.
If that is your analysis, then why not?
No filter, no boundaries, just the truth behind the headlines. Deep, bold, and unflinching. Face to Face with Umaru Sanda Amadou airs on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV, where politics gets real.
The gentleman who is joining me today, I like to describe him as a true black star. He is a master sergeant of the U.S. Army, currently stationed in Korea, Mr. Samuel Amateyama, Master Sergeant Samuel Amateyama. Hello, let me give you the respect, soldier.
Wow, thank you. I like that.
So that's like half a tin.
No, let's add it in. There's some more. We're trying to make it rich because I know you're classy. You got to be rich. So based on that, we're going to add. Now I'm going to add something called the apple. Where's my apple juice right here?
Apple juice is here.
Why do I add the apple juice? Just to give it that apple flavor. I'm going to give you $100 bill.
Okay.
Hold on to that.
Okay.
This is going to happen. Anybody in the comments on social media, do you think it's going to be good with hair with the blue hair or the red hair? Those who want blue hair, just type in blue in the comments. Those who want the red hair, type in red in the comments. We're going to see who the winner is, and then you're going to choose one person yourself to come for the $100 bill. So we have the oil, just in case the butter doesn't work out, we use the oil, okay?
Okay.
Is it hot now?
Yeah, it's hot.
Okay. So I'm going to put a bit of the butter in there. Oh, good.
Okay.
Perfect. Could we swivel it around a little bit, not too much? In there, and it becomes more,
it works.
Easily accessible to all. Get some jollof.
No, I trust you, and we'll use tasty. Oh my goodness! Just when I thought you weren't going to come today.
Why wouldn't you want me to come?
Because you come and eat all my food. This is one of my favorite things, and then you're coming to eat it.
What's Cooking is brought to you by Tasty Tom and Kivo Pepper. In a world filled with challenges, we all need guidance, hope, and a lifeline to anchor us.
This is Lifeline, and I'm your host, Fred Crunchy Mensa.
From social issues, relationship challenges, and family matters, Lifeline is here to inspire, uplift, and guide you on your journey.
Where we give you support, where we hold your hand through the valley and through the thick and thins of life.
Join Bishop Fred Crunchy Mensa.
I welcome you especially to Lifeline.
Every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 p.m. right here on Channel 1 TV. Let's walk this path together, strengthen our faith, our families, and our lives. Lifeline, because every soul deserves a guiding light. Tune in to Lifeline on Channel 1 TV and let's grow together. Curious about what's happening beyond your borders? Beyond Borders takes you there. Every Wednesday at 7 p.m., join Kilo Kuda as he explores the stories that shape our world, connecting you with Ghanaians in other cultures and seeing the world through their eyes.
So you've learned one thing, you leave your shoes outside.
Wow.
Tuesday,
I won't go to Ghana dressed in a Lacoste.
As director of stations. From international politics to the human stories that define nations, Beyond Borders brings you a fresh perspective of Ghanaians around the world, one conversation at a time. Beyond Borders with Caleb Kuda airs Wednesdays at 7 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV.
Welcome back. It's still Breakfast Daily right here on Channel 1 TV. Right now, we're about to have an interesting conversation. And this is the conversation around tech. And obviously, if you have kids that want to get into tech, I think you should sit back, relax, and watch this. Not just the kids, the adults might also need it to help some kids someday. Anyway, now we're about to have a conversation about an exclusive launch of Lanarium happening on the 25th June 2025. And it's brought to you by Coral Reef Innovation Africa. What is this all about? We're getting into it right now. So in the studio with us is Richard Osei Enim, who's the managing partner at Coral Reef Innovation Africa. Hi, Richard.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good stuff.
Yeah. How's everything going?
Yeah, we're pressing forward.
Yeah. I was looking at you and I realized that I know this man. He looks very familiar, and I realized that he's one of the people that used to travel around the world.
Wanderlust.
Yeah, one of the Wanderlust guys.
Yes.
Well, today you're not traveling. You're here to talk tech.
No, we're actually working. I mean, before we travel, we need to make money.
Yeah. All right. So, Richard, let's get into it. Right. First of all, let's start with Coral Reef Innovation Africa. What is this company all about?
Okay, so as soon as I mention coral reef, everybody's mind goes to coral reefs in the bottom of the ocean.
I really thought it was the ocean.
Yes, I mean, I go to events and so somebody says like, I feel like scuba diving and so on. But I actually come across it in Cape Town, and it's a space for startups, early stages, and they said they are a coral reef of ideas.
Okay.
So a coral reef essentially is a space, an ecosystem of color, light, diversity, sustenance. You build latent ideas and so on. So that's the origin of the name. But as soon as you mention it, people's minds go to reefs in the bottom of the ocean.
I honestly thought that's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, just like you have a beehive.
Right.
Sustenance for bees, the same concept here. But this time we're dealing with ideas, building ideas, supporting startups, early stage businesses, raising money. That's how we started. But we pivoted to education in the last 5 years. And our focus has really been on driving education across Africa, especially EdTech, building smart labs, supporting teachers and trainers, master coaches, and supporting parents. Our core vision and mission really is to support and empower youth, build them with talent, and empower them for the future of work. So everything that we do is building a pipeline of talent to support youth in acquiring skills for the future of work.
Right. So you talked about EdTech. How important is tech to education in today's world?
Well, I mean, people they must be hiding under a rock if they haven't come across the impact of AI, or what we're calling the fourth industrial revolution, cybersecurity, IoT, XR, VR, and so on. Now, you have this challenge between automation versus innovation. Jobs are being disrupted. Tasks are being disrupted. I mean, I've even seen your job, an AI
I've seen it.
journalist.
I've seen it.
Conducting interviews and so on. So you could be an endangered species. But the challenge is that this automation versus innovation, it's getting rid of jobs. The World Economic Forum says about 97 million jobs are going to be created, 85 million are going to be displaced. Innovation is presenting opportunities, but the key question is whether we are preparing our students with the right sort of skill sets to take advantage of the opportunities that innovation presents. And that's where we position ourselves to resolve that tension between automation versus innovation. So everything that we do is really, where will a student be in the next 5, 10, 15 years, and will they be relevant in the future of work?
Okay. Now let's talk about the main focus of this whole sit down today. Tell us about the Lanarium. Lanarium.
Yeah, it's a mouthful, but it's also deliberate to actually make it sticky. So learn AI. Like you have a planetarium, you have an aquarium, it's a space.
Planarium.
Yeah, we keep talking about spaces. So immersion spaces where students can get an encounter with the various tools that we provide. But there are two markets we are looking at. We're looking at parents and we're looking at schools. And for parents, we're providing devices that their kids and students can use. But this is a device that's bundled with content, with data, and with insurance. The device is financed by APSA on an installment basis. One of the biggest, we've been doing this for about 5-6 years, and we've realized that one of the biggest barrier to entry is usually the cost of the device at certain segments of the market. So if we can amortize that cost over a period of time, 2-3 years, I mean 20 CDs a week, for example, but not just the device, because we're not essentially we're not a device company, we're a solutions company. So we're bundling the device with content. There's the content on the Snaplify, about 50,000 free books, digitized textbooks, and so on. And then also data from MTN, our partner. And then Coronation is our insurance, because these are kids. They'll drop the devices, they'll break them, and so on. So accidental damage, theft, and so on. We've bundled all that into a solution, but it's either on a subscription basis or a pay-as-you-go basis.
Right.
And APSA takes care of the financing of the facility for the devices.
Right.
So that's for parents. We realize that students can also spend some time in the hubs and the immersion center, but when they go home, if they're in school and they have an encounter for an hour a week, by the time they come back the following week, they would have forgotten.
Yeah.
So it's important for them to have
the device,
the device and the content that allows them to practice at home.
Right.
For schools, there are hubs. An average hub about 25-seater, 50-seater, could be anything between 15,000 US to 30,000 US. We're in Ghana, so multiply that by 10. It's quite a huge undertaking for lots of schools. So again, APSA steps in to finance that. We know schools tend to get revenue 3 times a year, 3 terms. So it's one that is being created to deal with a cycle around when schools see revenue.
So why is this the right time to actually introduce this initiative into the market?
The pace of change and the speed of change that is happening around education. Education has changed. I mean, there's been arguments about whether we'll replace the teacher. For instance, if you look at Khan Academy, they've developed something called Kamigo. And this is an AI tool that engages the student in a Socratic method. It can ask you questions, it can engage you, it can test you, and so on. If you don't go past the levels at which you will not be able to proceed. We're developing something like that. A lot of these AI tools are all Caucasian and Western based. So a huge part of our work is looking at indigenizing a lot of the tools. So we've got local partners that are developing content and support for teachers. I mean, the teacher of the 2030, 2035, what does a teacher look like in this environment of AI? So it's not just the students that we are preparing, because the teacher is essential. The teacher is central because on a day-to-day basis they engage the student. There is also this issue about the teacher becoming a facilitator or a tourist guide, free their time so that all the basic mundane lesson plan and everything can be taken care of by technology or the AI, and also support their cognitive skills with technology. So we look at 3 key areas: the student, the teacher, and then stakeholders. So government, ministries, district assemblies, and so on. How do they support this kind of initiative, especially in the rural areas? There's a huge digital poverty divide. So how do we bridge that digital poverty divide and make sure that rural kids and city kids are all on the same level? So it's really preparing students, I keep going back, for the future of work. At the pace at which it's going, if you don't get into the space now and support the training of pipeline of content, you realize that you get out of school after 16, 17 years and you're not relevant to whatever is happening.
Right. So talking of content, who are the developers of this content, or whose content is accepted to this platform?
Yeah. So we are building an ecosystem. So initially we have a company called Snaplify that provides us with content for about 50,000 books and digitized textbooks and so on. So you go in and you subscribe, you pick the books. In fact, there's a partner of us, you can even buy chapters. Because sometimes there are books that you don't really need the whole book, so there are specific chapters that you can buy. OneConnect. There are local content, providers as well. So what we are building really is an ecosystem. So you have an ecosystem of technical partners. You have with banks. You would have with non-bank financial institutions, because not every client will fit the normal credit, of the banks. So how do we find them alternative sources, and also partner with foundations and so on, especially for rural areas, corporate CSR budgets of companies, Rotary, Lions, Zonta. I mean, all these entities, we sort of we have a model for fundraising that we syndicate and raise money to support these initiatives.
Right. So let's talk about the student subscription. How does it work? What's the model like, and how does it work?
Okay, so I mean, you go onto our website, coralreefgh.com, and there's actually a waiting list. I mean, we've done a pre-launch, and there's about 1,000 users that are waiting to go. So we're using from now till September as a beta test watcher. So if you go onto that website, it will say register for Lenarium. Then you will be able to register, sign up. In fact, if you're applying for credit, it will take a while for APSA to respond. So dealing with the inflow that we have, you go on our website, coralreefgh.com, and then sign up to the waiting list for Lenarium.
Yeah, and signing up is free?
You sign up for free. I mean, yes, but you've got to subscribe. And you go through a credit process with APSA, which then covers the cost of the total solution.
So what do students actually receive when they sign up?
When they sign
through school?
Well, so the student has to be, there's a parent that needs to sign up on behalf of the parent, because they've got to guarantee. And really, from a risk management perspective, from a risk management perspective, it's important. It's the parents that will subscribe on behalf of their. And we're starting off with salaried employees for now, until we have support for other
donors
and so on.
All right. But do they receive anything after they sign up?
After they sign up, they will have access to the content. Okay, that's the first thing. You will have access to a device. You will have access to a cover from the insurance company to cover you for accidental damage and theft. And then data from MTN. There are different levels. So if you're in primary school, it's a tablet with a certain data component, maybe about 2 gigabytes. Then as you go on, the senior high schools are doing like a Core i3, Core i5, junior high school Core i3. So it's really graduated up to tertiary, which is like Core i7. What we say is that, look, the kind of environment we find ourselves across Africa, a lot of people tend to be brand conscious. So they are looking at HP, they are looking at Dell, they are looking at all these. And what we found also is that a lot of people have devices that they probably usually about 10, 15, 20% of the capability.
True. So even with phones,
yes,
a lot of people just have the phones because of the aesthetics.
Absolutely. So to bring the cost down, we're looking at essential components that a student needs. Okay, not all the frills and the essential needs. So you need Word, you need Excel, you need an AI tool, you need those are essential. That goes on there.
The most important ones.
The most important things, so then you can manage the costs.
But now let's talk about the rural areas. How have you made this accessible to them?
A lot of projects we've done in the rural areas, we've done through foundations like the Otumfuo Foundation, Newmont Foundation, Goldfields, Mondelez, and so on. We leverage CSR budgets of companies for that, because frankly, the cost is usually out of reach for most. So we really leverage CSR budgets to do that. So Newmont may say, okay, we're signing you up to deal with maybe 10 schools for us, and you set up those spaces for them, and then the students get to have an engagement with the spaces.
Right. So let's talk about today's school and today's students. What are some of the major skill gaps that you have actually observed in today's students?
Okay, so I mean, there are two things that we come across all the time. I mean, creative problem solving, being able to work in teams. Okay. When it comes to technology innovation, they can get by. I mean, they're very handy and they can get by, but there are softer skills. The issues around environment, sustainability, governance, civic responsibility. People keep talking about Gen Zs being entitled and so on. Okay, civic responsibility, volunteerism. These are all things that we build around. So you're not just doing technical skills. We're building around. In fact, we've had a partnership with Spelling Bee. We've done stuff with autistic kids. We've done stuff for the hard to hear. I mean, we've done special needs, 28 special needs schools. We've done technology for 28 special, the blind schools across the country. We've done 700 schools, 350 primary schools, 350 junior high schools. So over the last 5 years, that's really our track record. Yeah, that's really our track record. I mean, we've got a calling card, but we realized that, look, we've got to have a sustainable solution that appeals to the market. Hence the launch of Lenarium.
Wow. Now, how do you actually position yourself, especially Coral Reef? How do you actually position yourself within Africa educational and tech ecosystem?
There are 3 key words that define the work we do: access, equity, and inclusion.
What inspired that?
Wanderlust. I mean, before we actually started going out of Ghana, we probably did around Ghana. Before we went to London, Iraq, Dubai, all these places, we had done Ghana about 10 times. We had done funeral tourism, we had done whatever. But because of my background with education, we landed on a farm owned by Mr. James Boateng, ex-Coca-Cola, Cadbury, and so on. And he had about 100 farm hands. These are families, 100 families. And the kids of the family, we decided that, okay, we'll put a lab there from our own CSR budget. So we put a lab there. And within 3 to 6 months, these are kids that have not touched a device. Within 3 to 6 months, these kids were coding and assembling robots.
Wow.
Okay, so we also came across the Manfi Methodist girls who won the World Robotics twice, not just once, twice. And MTN built a facility there for them. So technically, if you can provide a kid with access, equity, and inclusion, they can compete with anybody globally. And that's really what drives us. How do we get as many African students to compete on the global stage? After all, when think about it, aren't we the same people that go to the Harvards, the Yales, and and go and compete favorably with us? So really, our mission is to drive a lot more of these students, especially from the rural, deprived, hard to reach areas. And even in major cities like Accra, Kumasi, you still find pockets of deprivation in different communities. So that's really what drives us.
Wow. So where do you see Lenarium and Coral Reef Innovation Africa in 5 years? So 5 years.
We've already started building a Pan-African footprint. So we're in Nigeria, working with Access Bank, about 3,000 schools. In
so
South
it's
Africa.
Still the same thing with what you're doing outside?
It's the same thing. It's the same thing, but in different territories, we will use different partners. So if ABSA wants to go with us across Africa, great. So ABSA, EcoBank, Access in about 15, 20 countries, and we're following the Access footprint. Same with ABSA and EcoBank. So wherever it is, and the partnerships that are looking for added value services, foundations that are looking to make impacts, churches, mosques, synagogues. We even make a joke and say whatever.
Everybody needs it.
Yes, So as long as we are looking at the future of students, it's important for them to be embedded in the system. Like in a huge market. I mean, if you think about Europe, average age is about 47, 49. Africa is 19 years. By 2035, will be about 1 billion. 40% of that youth. But that demographic dividend doesn't count for much if you don't. But population doesn't equal talent. It doesn't equate to talent. So how do you nurture the talent, provide them with skills, talent, and abilities to compete on a global stage?
So many people have like myths about AI. Can you share some myths and then also give us the facts, because you deal with this?
From where I said my background was risk management, consulting, advisory, and so on, is a fantastic tool for me that allows me to 10x my performance. So whereas I used to do business plans from scratch, depending on the prompt, I think everybody should have a prompt essentials course, prompt 101, because it's standard, garbage in, garbage out, what you call it. So if you can sort out your prompt skills.
I learned that, yeah.
Prompt engineering last year was going for about $350,000 wages per year. Yeah. So it can 10x your performance, definitely. For the students in Africa that we're dealing with, Ghana and so on, we're giving them AI skill sets to be able to solve local problems. It could be around finance, health, climate. In one group, we're looking at even how do they animate and gamify the Constitution of Ghana, for instance, to make it understandable for different people. So there's that. But obviously there are biases, there are ethics around it. Somebody used an AI tool to impersonate their finance, whatever, and it took about 240 million. What do you call it? My take on that is like there are several things in life that we have two sides of a coin. So just like fire, your gas burner at home, if you don't manage it well, you could have, same with water, we could drown, but it's got its uses. So same with AI. There's definitely going to be a section of any population that would use it for good, but there are also some that will use it for, so now, it's important to be able to, so there are regulations, countries are coming up with regulations. I know Ghana is talking about a national AI strategy, and some aspects of it will have to be regulated so that there is, you put a ring fence around some of those issues, guardrails.
Okay. Yeah, so tomorrow it's actually the exclusive launch of Refinery.
Tomorrow is the launch with our partners, our investors, media. We're launching it tomorrow, and from tomorrow till September is really beta stage, dealing with the waiting list that we have about 1,000. But I mean, we're still going to be taking in orders and so on, and then start the process.
Okay, is it free? Or it's just
you mean the
launch?
Yeah, you can come. I mean, there's I think we only have about 100 spaces.
Oh, okay. And I'm sure it's full already because you have your people.
Absolutely, yeah.
Anyway, so what's the website that people should go to?
www.coralreefgh.com. www.coralreefgh.com. You see the Lenarium icon there. You click and then you log in.
Right. Thank you so much.
Thank
it was
you very
really
much.
nice talking to you. It was really nice having you in the studio. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard Richard Osei, managing partner of Coral Reef Innovation Africa. Go out there and sign up, especially if you know that your child needs it. You don't even have to wait for anybody to tell you. It's actually very important, especially with where the world is going right now with AI. You want to plug that child in right now and to help that child improve in whatever skill or he or she really has. And if you're a school and you're also watching, I think this is also important for you to jump onto, because the education territory is changing fast every day. I mean, people are moving forward. You don't want to be left behind. So, this is a very great opportunity for you to jump on the train right now. So now it's time for us to get into the next conversation, and it's on the City Business Festival on Air series, and we're going to be looking at how fintech is changing the business landscape. And of course, our host is Bernard Avle. Enjoy, and we'll be back.
Welcome to another edition of your On-Air series for City Business Festival 2025. This is our final week. We're focused on digital economy, and today we're answering two important questions. So, who or what are fintechs, and how are they changing the way we live and work? Don't forget, the City Business Festival is brought to you by Absa Bank, MTN, and Zonda Tech. When you come back, I'll tell you who my guest is as we delve into how fintechs are changing the way we work in this ecosystem.
My name is Lydia Safwa. I'm from Safusco Ghana Limited. I'm the managing director for the company. I'll commend MasterCard Foundation and Absa Bank for the 10% loan for women-led businesses and agri-businesses, because this facility came in at the right time for Safusco. The facility helped us to get machinery for our detergent powder and other raw materials to help us come out with 3 products. That's the detergent powder, the African black soap, and the bleach. We're able to employ 15 youth in addition to our working force, and this has really helped boost our productivity and revenue as well. Annually, we organize the Global Hand Washing Day in schools within our vicinity. We hope to make sure that Safusco helps to combat diseases from the schools. We are trying to have volunteers within the school. Those volunteers will help make sure that the project is being sustained in the school.
Welcome back. So what is a fintech? How important are they in our financial sector? And why have they become so pervasive? To answer those questions, I have a guy who, he's so passionate about the sector. Now he's known as Fintech Kwame. Kwame Awaga is a big man. He is a board member of the Africa Fintech Network. And of course, the president of the Ghana Fintech and Payments Association. Kwame, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bernard. Thank you for having me.
Did your parents name you Fintech Kwame, or it was given to you?
I think that's a name I took, just so that I could be branded as such and be identified as one leading the industry.
What is interesting is that if you mentioned that name 20 years ago, nobody would know what the hell Fintech was.
Yes.
But it's amazing how now it's almost a word we use every day.
Yes.
So when we say a Fintech, what do we mean?
I think let's not think too far.
Okay.
Fintech is just the amalgamation of finance and technology.
Okay.
So basically the application of financial or digital solutions to deliver financial services.
Simple.
Simple.
So the tool is the technology.
Yes.
The finance is the product.
Is the product.
I see. So are fintechs financial organizations or technology companies?
So it can be both.
Okay.
So when this whole narrative started, so I always say that fintechs have always been with us. But one of the things we need to understand that is that they have not always been at the front end. They've always been at the back end in the financial sector. But we need to understand that during the 2008 global financial crisis, that is when it became pervasive for them to decipher between the compliance and then the front-ending product. And so therefore, fintech became a thing. So, you know, during the 2008 global financial crisis, when that happened, the banks were basically thinking about compliance and regulatory issues. So then the fintechs were like, okay, we've always worked with you. We've always been at the back end. But right now, you are not able to, face the customers directly. And you bear with me that banks have always not been able to reach the last mile.
Yes.
And this was a very important conversation which needs to be, identified and worked on. So the fintechs were like, okay, we can rather reach these people faster than you can.
Okay.
And so then, why don't we then provide the solutions, the customer-facing solutions, and you handle the big issues when it comes to compliance and regulatory side of the whole conversation. And that's how fintechs became a thing.
I see. So are there different types of fintechs?
There are. There are a lot. Now, one of the things I want to also decipher today on this channel is for us to understand what fintech is, let's cast our mind back.
Okay.
I already gave a definition of what fintech is, but let's understand that fintech is not separate from mobile money.
Okay.
Fintech is not separate from cryptocurrency. Okay. Now, just like how in a household you have a mother and you have the children, fintech is the embodiment of digital payments, of cryptocurrency, of insurance technology, of remittances. So the industry is growing and is big, and there are new innovative things coming on daily.
Let's take our time. So fintech is the parent.
Yes.
Out of it, we have digital payments.
Yeah.
We have
cryptocurrency. Yes. Which one on the blockchain?
Which one on blockchain?
Yeah.
We have remittances.
Yes.
And then you also have, we have insurance technology.
And so we have mobile money.
And
we have wallets.
So they are all strands of fintech.
Of fintech.
Is it?
Yes.
So there's a massive sector.
It's a massive industry. It's a very massive industry.
Okay.
Yes.
But it didn't appear so, because so of the 5 you mentioned, would you say which is the biggest?
There's actually more. Remittance and mobile money and digital payments. 3 actually.
Remittance, which is essentially sending money from maybe outside into a country.
Yeah.
Through
from the diaspora into the country.
So remittance, mobile money, and digital payments will be the top 3.
The top
crypto
3.
is also growing.
Yeah, crypto is also a growing industry.
So is fintech in the form you've described, the top 5, is it more a developing world issue than developed world? So for example, Ghana, Bangladesh, Pakistan will have more fintechs than say US, Europe?
Yes, so I always say that, yes, that's the correct thing to say. So fintech is more a developing country context. And I've always, stuck to the fact that fintech in itself, or the tools or the technologies that make fintech viable are more applicable in the context of developing countries like Africa. Okay, so we have technologies that are running or that fintechs are running on, like the distributed ledger technology, DLT. We have the blockchain. We have artificial intelligence. We have, the Internet of Things, Web3. These are all the technologies, all the tools
that the fintechs run on.
That the fintechs leverage to provide front-facing, customer-enhancing products.
Quite interesting. So we need to distinguish between the tools or the platforms.
The tools and then the services, the products.
Wonderful.
Which are mobile money, cryptocurrency, or all these others we mentioned.
You gave a bit of history about 2008.
Yeah.
By the way, in Ghana, which is the biggest? Is it mobile money? Will it be remittances? Will it be payments? Do we know which fintech has the most penetration? Which type has the most penetration?
Currently, I would say that would be the mobile money industry.
Mobile money.
Yes, followed by the remittance space.
Remittance.
Because as of April, we have over 300 billion Ghana cedis transactions on the mobile money platforms alone.
Whoa. So Momo is clearly number 1.
Momo is clearly leading, yeah.
And then you feel
remittances, yeah.
I'm told the last time they calculated over $6 billion.
$6 billion, $4.5 to $6 billion.
Per annum?
Yes.
If you multiply that by,
is what comes into Ghana.
But that's $6 billion. If you multiply that by
10,
that's about 60
billion.
So Momo is still bigger.
Yes.
What about payments?
So payments is just the providing of those tools for businesses. So you notice some companies use or ask for POS systems, or they want to use a QR code. And so you go to a restaurant and then you are asked to just swipe your card on their POS machine or just scan their QR code. And so those are digital payments rails or channels that the fintechs also provide for these businesses.
So those are the tools. So it looks like things like in digital insurance and they are not that big, right? The other ones you mentioned.
I mean, insurance in Ghana has not really has under 5% penetration in Ghana, and so I mean a lot of more work needs to be done there. Then we also have embedded finance, which is also coming up. I mean, the Bank of Ghana has initiated calls for the introduction of the digital credit lenders, the digital credit providers framework that is being put up. Then we have open banking that's also coming up. Then we also have cryptocurrency. Of course, the governor mentioned that from September 2025, we are going to start, licensing crypto or the regulatory framework for crypto is going to be out. So there's a lot of other adjoining industries or sectors that are coming up or emerging out of the whole fintech industry. And so it's a very vibrant, very large industry, and I think there's a lot happening.
How did fintechs become so important? You mentioned the financial crisis. Some people also talk about M-Pesa.
M-Pesa is basically mobile money in Kenya.
Yes, as the example of how people saw its
relevance,
viability in the African context. So if I ask you what led to the explosion of fintech, would you say it's M-Pesa? Would you say are you able to identify what made fintech become so powerful in Africa?
So if I were also to ask you a rhetorical question, that are you happy or have you ever been happy with your traditional banking services?
Oh, of course, I'll have a problem.
Yeah, of course.
Definitely not.
And that's the same narrative that we all carry, that the banks have not really been consumer focused,
consumer friendly even,
yes. So that is basically what fintechs bring to the fore.
Okay.
So, like I said, during the 2008 financial crisis, fintechs have always been with us. Like I said, they've always served as technology service providers to the banks.
Okay.
So think about your ATM machine, the technologies that the fintechs run on, or the banks run on. These were services that were being provided at the back end by these fintechs. But like I said, during the 2008 crisis, we realized, okay, there's a need for financial inclusion. And like you earlier mentioned before the interview, financial inclusion has been, at the dominant area of making sure that financial access reaches everybody, okay, the underserved, but the banks have not been able to achieve that. So we realized, okay, looking at where we are headed now, the concept of M-Pesa came as, okay, at that time, in 2007, 2006, you could send credit to somebody via your feature phone, your mobile phone, without any hindrance. Okay, and so that concept brought about the fact that, okay, if I could send maybe 10 CDs to you via a mobile phone, via a USSD channel, can we do same with money? That's how the whole concept started. And so it was tested in 2007 in Kenya and became a success, and then in 2008 Ghana also started it. But the banks were not really for it when it started. The banks were like, okay, what is, what was the business of telcos or mobile money service providers, or, the telecommunication industries in the financial industry? So they were not really interested in it. They were not forthcoming with it. And right now the train has moved and left.
So they are now trying to catch up.
They are now trying to catch up. Yes, so that's how the whole conversation started. And I mean, just from the idea of sending a text message, now we have that same solution being delivered in the financial services industry, and it's amazing.
This is the City Business Festival, our honor series, and this morning we're discussing the evolution of fintechs, essentially how fintechs are changing the way we will live and work. My guest is Fintech Kwame, who's a board member of the Africa Fintech Association, and he's also the president of the Ghana Fintech and Payments Association. When we come back, you will try and answer a couple more questions. So, how have fintechs changed the way we live and work? What are the key success factors for fintech to become a driver for economic growth? And what kind of future does he see for the fintech sector? Stay with us.
She's coming. She's coming!
Oh, it's in. Let down his seatbelt! Boss, let's go back.
Here, take this.
She's coming.
I know. Go to the pharmacy now.
She's coming! Oh.
Pay faster, pay safer, and pay easy with Momo app. Download now and pay with the QR code, merchant ID, and so much more.
Welcome back. This is the Honor Series for City Business Festival 2025, brought to you by Absa Bank, MTN, Business, and of course Zonda Technology. Today we are discussing fintechs and how they change the way we live and work. My guest is Fintech Kwame Awaga. He's a big man in the fintech sector. He just returned from an important conference. He's a board member of the Africa Fintech Association, and he leads the fintech efforts in Ghana, president of the Ghana Fintech and Payments Association. So Kwame, talk to me a bit about how fintechs are changing the way we live. Explain to some listeners the applications of fintech and how it's changed the way we live and do business.
Okay. So currently we have in Ghana, for instance, or across the world in Africa, we have a thriving youthful population.
Okay.
And this population basically makes a chunk of the entire spectrum of individuals in the world or in Africa. Now, these people are tech savvy. They are not really interested in, long processes and all that. For instance, going to the bank. So I'm going to give you some practical insights. Now, these are people who always want things at their fingertips.
Okay.
So then, with this understanding, we can attest to the fact that they want things easy and fast. And that is what fintechs bring to the fore. Speed, trust, and confidence. So they want the trust, they want the speed in the industry, and they want the confidence. For instance, just imagine, so I started my working in the Ministry of Finance. So in the Ministry of Finance in Ghana here, there are some banks dotted around the ministry. So let's say on a normal day, I have about 1 hour for lunch. Let's say I spend 30 minutes of that 1 hour to eat lunch, and then I want to access a traditional bank, or maybe go to the bank to do any transaction. Now, I go to the bank. Of course, I have to move from wherever I am to the bank. That takes time and effort. Then I also get to the bank. Of course, there are long queues in the banking halls. Okay. Now, I also have to wait to go through that whole queue. Of course, by the time I'm done with my banking transactions or whatever I went there to do, that 30 minutes would have been exhausted. So there is lack of productivity and time wastage and cost trying to access a banking service. Even just imagine back then trying to get your financial statements. You have to go to the bank, pay for it before it is given to you. Now, gone are also the days where e-commerce was not really a thing. Now we have fintech platforms that are embedded into this e-commerce platforms, and you can do your payments once you buy anything on any online shop, and it's delivered straight away to you.
Wow.
So this is what we call the trust, the confidence that fintechs are bringing to the fore.
And of course, the speed and the convenience.
The speed and the convenience. So that is how it's making our lives easier. And the things that brought about this is the high mobile penetration, internet availability and accessibility, and data costs.
Okay.
Because of all this mobile penetration and all that issues, it has driven down the cost of assessing your daily financial needs. And I've always maintained that having financial access is one of the things that kept Africa or Africans from accessing financial independence and freedom. But now we have digital credit platforms like Fido, like Affinity, that with your Ghana card, you can easily create a digital wallet or bank account without having to even step foot in the bank account. In the banking hall. Just
access to credit.
Access to credit, for businesses and all that. So it's making our lives really easier, faster. And
are the financial institutions evolving? You mentioned Fido.
Yeah.
There's Affinity. There's a few other, Solis and Co. Is finance waking up to this new reality early? Because the traditional banks still, even though they do technology stuff, they still go through the loan process traditionally.
Yeah.
So for example, when Affinity or these guys come on air, they market the fact that they are using mobile in a way that tells you that traditional banks are not. What is the missing link with the traditional financial institutions?
Well, okay. So because traditional banks or commercial banks as we know it are more, based on a lot of regulatory and bureaucratic issues, or they need to be very compliant. And aside that, they also have the brick and mortar system. I mean, as a fintech founder, I don't necessarily have to open a branch dotted all across the country. With a laptop and Wi-Fi, accessibility or internet accessibility, a fintech company can operate anywhere in the world. Okay. And so, like I said, the commercial banks are now waking up to this reality, but they've always known that these are things that we're going to take them out of, the mainstream. So this is what is happening. Fintechs are now at the front end, providing services to the customers, and the banks, as we know it, are doing the heavy lifting at the back. Maybe that's compliance issues, making sure they are up to standard, or making validating the fintechs.
Yeah.
Because fintechs don't hold the funds. Okay, we don't hold the funds, and the banks do that. So they have to make sure the hardware, when it comes to compliance-related issues, are done by them. So yes, they understand some of these things, and so of course, banks are not going away anytime soon. But the fintechs are going to be providing the customer.
Well, but what a bank is could change, right? I remember at the recent event you did 2 years ago, so there was a big debate about compliance versus innovation.
Yes.
Which one is more critical for the survival of the financial sector or whatever?
Yeah.
How did that debate end, and where do you sit in that debate?
Regulatory compliance, as we know it, from the regulators and policymakers, would always need to catch up with innovation.
Okay.
Like I said, this industry is growing at a rate that it cannot be stopped. And so regulators cannot match up with our energy. And so they need to always learn from us, give us the room to operate, and then build on those successes or those success stories. And like I said, when mobile money became a success story in Kenya, starting from Kenya, Ghana was now trying to understand. But that train had long moved, and the regulators had to now come in. I mean, even for instance, now, the telcos in Ghana had to differentiate their financial arm, which is the fintech arm, which is from the traditional telco business. So, and that is regulation that has now even permeated in our industry 2-3 years ago.
Long behind,
when
the change actually occurred.
So I think you understand the whole narrative now. And
so for you, innovation is what drives the growth. Regulation comes in to streamline it so it doesn't destroy itself.
So that, the financial sector was actually built on trust. And you don't want to, as a regulator, get people to not be excited about that trust, or feel distrust. Like how, for instance, like what the e-levy did, to erode that trust. So you make sure that, okay, whilst you are also putting your checks and balances in place to regulate this industry, you are making sure that these innovations do not disrupt the sanity of the banking industry or the financial sector.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We are still talking to Fintech Kwame. What areas of innovation are we seeing in the fintech landscape?
Yeah. Currently, open banking is coming up.
Okay.
The draft guidelines for open banking.
What is open banking?
Open banking, where you can have, so open banking is basically open data.
Okay.
Where, there's, in the banking sector, in the financial sector, there's a lot of data moving around.
All right.
And this data is, the Bank of Ghana has their own data. The financial institutions have their own data. But how can we consolidate this data for the benefit of you, the customer? That's what basically open banking is.
And that's one of the areas of innovation we're seeing. Is that the most important?
That's where we are headed.
Okay.
Yes.
I see. Now, what are some key success factors for the fintech sector? What are the things that need to be in place in the economy to allow the fintech industry to thrive?
Okay. So for Ghana, what actually heralded or gave us the mandate to see the growth of fintechs were 3 policies.
Okay.
The National Financial Development Financial Inclusion Policy, the NFITS, National Financial Inclusion Development Strategy of Ghana. Then we also have the Cashlight Roadmap and the Digital Financial Services Policy. These were policies enacted during the early 2000s, from 2015 thereabout, to accelerate the uptake, adoption of digital financial services in the country. And so this policy actually ended in 2023. And so there are others that are coming up. And for instance, like the crypto regulation that is coming up. So these were some of the policies that initiated us into this things that we are seeing now. Yeah.
So there are 3 critical policies that you believe.
Yes.
So, but beyond the policy environment, are we seeing finance go into research? Because usually you also need some research to drive innovation, correct? A lot of the gadgets we use were founded by universities working with private sector together. How do you see that within the fintech context in the African context? Are we seeing money go into research to develop new products? Is that something that's driving growth?
I think all that is mostly private-led.
Okay.
Because most of the fintechs in Ghana that have raised funding were not mostly from Africa or from Ghana, sadly. And so most of this research-tailored funding or things that have been done are from the diaspora, from the West and all that. That is why, for instance, we at the association, we were lobbying to see the launch of the 50 million FinTech Growth Fund that the current government has promised, to see how we can build local capital for some of these things. You talked about research. That is very critical, research and development. And then we also are looking at maybe raising local capital, local entrepreneurs. Because honestly, from where I sit, honestly, Bernard, from where I sit, I have seen a lot of innovative solutions being built by local startups and local entrepreneurs that can rival any other fintech platform around the world. And so we need to invest in them, and we need to provide them with the resources, and that is not being done locally. And so I think this is a clarion call for all of us locally to champion some of these discussions.
How large is the fintech community in Ghana? How many companies, for example, are members of the association?
Not just the association. The association is made up of both licensed entities and unlicensed entities. Okay. But you know, as a regulator, the Bank of Ghana mostly deals with the licensed entities, which currently are numbered at 60. Wow. So we have commercial banks that are actually 23 now, and fintechs are actually 60, and there's more of them coming up. And so, and they are all licensed under the Payment Systems and Services Act, which mandates that as a fintech, you need to, have the regulatory support to undertake your activities.
Sounds very interesting. Yeah. I want you to close by telling me what future you see for the sector in a couple of minutes. How do you see the industry in, say, 10 years?
Honestly, Bernard, I can't fathom.
It's too much.
It's too big. It's too much. Because we are talking about embedded finance, where everything that you do, even your mobile apps, every mobile app or every business would have a fintech component in there. So you don't need to use cash to pay for certain goods and services. Once you, maybe, for instance, let's take going to the club, or maybe, going to have fun with your friend, and the club already, or the pub already has its own mobile app, and they have already embedded a fintech payment solution in there. Once you are done buying your drinks or whatever, and you want to check out, they automatically know how much you owe, and they debit your account of that amount. So that is where the future is going.
I see. And it's an exciting future, certainly. We've been talking to Fintech Kwame Awaga. He is a board member of the Africa Fintech Association and the president of the Ghana Fintech and Payment Association, talking to us about how fintechs are changing the way we live and work. This has been part of our Honest Series. Today is day 2 of our final week, which is on digital economy. We'll see you next time. Have a good morning.
So that was the On-Air series with Bernard Able and his guest talking extensively about what you need in the business field. Mind you, it's the business month, that is a City Business Forum month, and you should be able to get a lot for your organization. Well, let's move into other conversation which has to do with the aged, the elderly within our community, within our society, within the country. And in studio, we have the Association of Ghana's Elders, and we'll have a conversation on that. There is a forum that is coming up that you would want to be part of it. In studio is Dr. Esi Ansah, founder of the association, that is Association of Ghana's Elders, and Baba Esibu, executive director of Association of Ghana's Elders. Hello, good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Doing well, thank you.
First of all, let's understand what really is the association about, Doctor?
All right, so the Association of Ghana's Elders is an organization that really works in the interest of senior citizens. We work at 3 levels, and so when it comes to policy making, anything that concerns seniors, we push, we rally other people, and then we try to make sure that there's a change in policy in the interest of older people. And then we also work with organizations. So if there's a pharmacy, etc., who want to give discounts. So we lobby for discounts for seniors, so that those who are members, who have a membership card, can actually access discounted products and services. And then lastly, we just hang out with seniors, we check on them. Sometimes it's a call, sometimes they have a need, they may call, and we may send them something small for changing their glasses, you know, visit them, etc. Okay. So those are the three levels at which we work. But it's all in the interest of older persons. Older persons. And Baba, may I ask you, how many members do you have in recent times?
Currently, we have close to 500 members, of course, but we have around 200 active members. We have seniors who are very active and tech savvy. We have them on WhatsApp, group chats, having to have conversations relating to older persons.
Before you go into some of the concerns that you are dealing with when it comes to senior citizens and all that, what is the criteria? What does one need to be part of this association?
Yes, so you can be a partner to age by being a 60-year-old, that is the seniors, and also volunteers and also program partners. So any 60-year-old person can just go on our website to register and be a member. And we issue out membership ID cards to these seniors. Also, as a volunteer, you can volunteer in all capacities, operations, being available during forums and events to support, and also technically. Yes, and also for program partners, we seek partnership with companies to tailor their products and services, like Doc mentioned. Yeah, so these are the areas you could partner with each.
Wow. Doc, for how long has this association been in existence?
We set up in 2013. Oh, yes.
Wow, some 12 years ago.
And yes, and just a very quick story. During the 2012 presidential elections, there was a question asked of the debaters, you know, the presidential debate. They were asked a question about vulnerable populations, and none of them mentioned seniors. They talked about women, children, and people living with disability. And that kind of got the thinking started that, I think it's time for us to actually rally and formalize the interest and the services that we can provide to protect senior citizens.
Wow. Yeah. So some 12 years ago, when you have over 500 with 200 being active and all that. But when we ask the concerns and some of the things that the senior citizens have been telling you, for that reason this association has been created, what are the things they are battling with?
Maybe I'll give one and then Baba can take it up from there. There are many. You know, one key thing is the change in family structure. So once upon a time, grandma is home, everybody else is there, the older adults, the children, etc. Now children are in school, older adults are working. And so there are fewer and fewer people around them. The sense of community is going. And so there's a lot of loneliness, there's depression, there's being with people, but still being alone because nobody's around you. So the social pinch of the changing society has been a major driver. And sometimes you organize programs and they'll tell you, I don't have a way of getting there. So mobility. Our main forms of transport, you have buses, too chaotic for them to join, trotros, etc. Taxis, expensive for people on pension. And then walking is often not an option, you know, depending on the distance. And so transportation needs, there are many, right? And we've identified 8 key areas where we feel there are gaps and where we want to work.
And the 8, if you want to share with us the 8 key areas that you've identified.
Okay, so maybe
yes, so education is one key area that we've identified, as well as legal issues. When it comes to legal issues, do seniors really have that kind of support? So one thing we do is to get people, lawyers, for example, to give pro bono services to the seniors who are in need, you know. And also we have the economic aspect. That's one major reason why we are doing this. We believe we can rally seniors as, you know, actors of the economy, not just seeing seniors as they participate in the economy. So we need to see seniors as participants of the economy. That's one major reason why we are holding this forum on the 1st of July. And also there is technology. Also, we realized that with the changing technology, inventions, seniors need to catch up in a way, so that to combat isolation, we have apps that seniors need to be, exactly, so that they can use those applications. And also there is health. Health is one major thing that has to do with aging, regardless of how you look at it. Once you get to a certain point, some health issues come naturally. So health is one major area we also work with. Then we have
sociocultural.
Exactly.
And just to come in on the sociocultural front, we actually want seniors to write their stories, capture their life lessons. And so we've worked with 2 seniors in the past to do that. And an easy way of remembering it is PESH-TEAL. P for political engagement, a lot of the advocacy we're doing. E for the economy, which is why we're talking about this today. The S for the social cultural, H for the health, T for technology, E for environment. Our built environment doesn't accommodate people with mobility challenges, railings, even in homes. Bathrooms still have bathtubs that grandma has to climb into. And that needs to change. And then there's education and then legal. So those are the 8 key areas where we've identified some key challenges. And
you have dealt with these elderly for 12 good years. The question I'll ask is, you think that the country has been able to deal with the issues properly when it comes to the elderly? Because not long ago, before the current administration came in, we saw the elderly embarking on demonstration for the pensioner bondholders and other issues, asking for what they have toiled for and their savings and all that. What do you think about this as an association?
As a society, we've made presumptions that the elderly are okay. Their children will take care of them, they are fine, but that's not the case. Because of that, the state has literally stepped back and left the caregiving and the social protection to families, and it's not working. Over the years, we've seen and heard politicians talk about, making room for senior citizens. And I know in 2020, I think, we compared the manifestos across the different parties, and some of the things we found were interesting. So lip service is there, but in terms of action, it's been slow. Sometimes there are a few interventions, a card for them to get access to products and services. It never really worked. So we see an interest, and now we realize that if we're going to take care of senior citizens, we don't look to the state. We'll look to the state in terms of policy, but we need to recognize that this is a whole economic bloc. This is a whole powerful political bloc as well. And so we need to change the conversation.
So political parties, you must pay attention to the elderly or the aged in the community. Now let's come to the forum, the stakeholder forum, and the essence for this forum. Okay. Baba, you want to help us with that? Why this forum and details of the forum?
Okay, and Baba, just before, can I define silver economy, because that's the focus?
Yeah, feel free.
All right, so let me read this. The silver economy, according to us, is the ecosystem of economic activities where research, policy making, production, distribution and consumption of goods and services are specifically tailored with the participation of senior citizens to serve the interests of the aging population. And the sector is characterized by innovation, intergenerational collaboration, inclusiveness, and finally, dignity.
Good.
Okay, please.
Yes, so what we are looking at for this event is we need to showcase senior citizens as not just consumers of products and services, but actors. We have seniors who are bloggers among us. We have seniors doing massively well gardening, in the entrepreneurial activities as well. So it's good we draw attention to these seniors that and also draw the society's attention to the fact that seniors are not just vulnerable people. Some seniors are very active, and when given the opportunity, they will make money for themselves and not depend solely on the family. So yeah, we need to tap from the silver economy as a country.
Wow. So with this event or the forum, which people are allowed to be in there, or there are specific people that you are invited for this forum?
We definitely want senior citizens to be there,
okay,
especially those who are engaged actively, so we can showcase them. And then we're looking for insurance companies who are interested in, providing or designing products for senior citizens.
Oh, beautiful.
We're interested in financial institutions who some already have, maybe no fee programs, etc. for seniors. But we're looking for basically companies across board who can identify opportunities to tailor their products and services for senior citizens. And it's open, and we're interested in people who just want to learn about the silver economy and how to take part, and people who can patronize the businesses of our senior citizens as well.
Some of them do have businesses.
Yes.
They're doing.
So as Baba was mentioning, we have those who run a laundry, those who've actually set up senior centers, to take care of senior citizens. There are some who are running businesses, farming, etc. So we're interested in showcasing that to show people that as people age, they are not a burden. But if we protect ourselves when we're young, if we take care of ourselves, then we're actually able to stay productive into our older years and be able to not just consume products and services, but to produce them as well.
So that's actually free.
Yes.
It's free. And it's happening where?
At the Christ the King Hall on 1st July, Tuesday.
From what time to what time?
From 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Okay. So all should be seated by 9 a.m.
Yes, of course.
Thank you so much.
Time.
Thank you so much, Dr. A.C. Ansan, who is the founder of the Association of Ghana's Elders, and also Baba Esibu, who is the Executive Director of the Association of Ghana's Elders. Please make sure that you are part of that event, which is happening next week, 1st of July 2025 at the Christ the King Church. Well, let's bring you the entertainment highlights on Breakfast Daily.
Hello and welcome to Entertainment Highlights on Breakfast Daily. My name is Ni Komete Kome. Now let's get into our first highlight. The 2025 Channel 1 TV AgriFair ended on a high note on Sunday, June 22, with a vibrant performance by the Inchinchim Band at Accra's Ifua Sutherland Children's Park. The 3-day event attracted crowds seeking fresh farm produce, cultural display, and expert agricultural insight. Organizers hailed the fair as a major success, highlighting its role in connecting farmers, agri-tech firms, food processors, and policymakers. Alongside entertainment, attendees enjoyed agri-clinics, exhibitions, and consultations, all aimed at boosting Ghana's agricultural sector. We say kudos to Channel 1 TV. Now to our next highlight. Ghanaian gospel a cappella group Alabaster Box has secured approval from the Accra High Court to serve rapper Medical, aka Samuel Edu Frimpong, through alternative means in a copyright case. The June 12 ruling comes after failed attempts to reach him via standard legal channels. Medical will now be served via social media, WhatsApp, to his manager, and notices posted at the High Court. The case stems from claims that Medical's Welcome to Africa unlawfully borrows elements from Alabaster Box's song Akwaba. Now to our next highlight. President John Dramani Mahama has appointed veteran actress and filmmaker Kalsum Senare Bafo as Ghana's new ambassador to Spain. Announced on June 21, the move is part of 15 new diplomatic postings. Kalsum, known for her decades-long film career and Golden Actress Award, joins a global trend of celebrities entering diplomacy. Other key appointments include Kojo Bonsu going to China, Professor Kwesi Obri-Danso going to India, and Benjamin Kwashi going to South Africa. All nominees will undergo standard procedures to confirm their roles. Now to our next highlight. Ghanaian singer Jackie has declared that her music journey is driven by hunger, not just passion. Speaking on Love FM, she said passion can fade, but hunger fuels her relentless pursuit of success. Despite being the daughter of high life legend Nana Echampong, Jackie insists her rise was self-earned. Her upcoming album, After Midnight, explores love beyond romance and reflects on her personal growth. She candidly shared struggles with self-doubt and why she distances herself from social media to protect her mental space. Her new single, Sankofa, is already gaining traction. Now to our last but not the least highlight. Burna Boy has announced the North American leg of his No Sign of Weakness tour, set to draw over 300,000 fans across 17 major venues in the US and Canada. Kicking off on November 12 at Colorado's Red Sox Amphitheater, the tour ends December 18 in Toronto's Scotiabank Arena. Stops include Boston's TD Garden, home of Burna Boy Day, Atlanta's State Farm Arena, and more. The tour follows his upcoming July album release and recent hit, Ta Ta Ta, featuring Travis Scott. It builds on his 2025 milestone as the first African artist to headline Stade de France. Now let's check out Channel 1 TV's Top 10 Countdown.
This is the Channel 1 Countdown. Number 10. Number 9.
I didn't watch it, but me I mean shit. I didn't watch it, just me so me pay. A day, I wanna neighbor.
Number 8. Number 7.
Asoiko.
Number 6.
I know few reason on my mind to fail me. Me drink the wine that drive me crazy, cause it really pay me. Oh my days, somebody steal my
Number 5.
I need some help. Put my head on fire, can't cool. My head on fire, can't cool.
Number 4. Number 3.
What a bomb, baby, my taste. What a bomb, baby, my grace. Oh, this amazing. Telling me what a man could do.
Number 2.
Just another guy. If I could, you wouldn't tell me to sacrifice it all. But I'm just another guy. If I could, you wouldn't tell me.
Number 1.
DJ, please turn up the bass to the max. Please just rewind, let me shake it to the max. 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 Please just rewind, let me shake it to the max.
Caribbean girl, me know for tick, me know for top. Yeah, man, I watch my body like say them, I watch a match.
This is the Channel 1 Countdown.
Now that will be it for entertainment highlights on Breakfast Daily, powered by GhanaWeekend.com. Stay with Ghana Weekend for more updates on your favorite celebrities, events, and everything pop culture in Ghana and beyond. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok at Ghana Weekend, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ghana Weekend TV. My name is Ni Komete Kome.
On this special day, I would like to congratulate and wish happy birthday to Channel One TV. They are celebrating their 7th anniversary. This is a great achievement. I would like to say I have a special feeling for this channel because I've been invited on many occasions to share stories on the relations between EU and Ghana, from job creation, from trade, from security, from entrepreneurship, education. We have a lot to work together between the European Union and Ghana, but the viewers, the public cannot access those stories if media houses like Channel One TV don't share them. So I would like to thank them. I would like once again to congratulate them and wish them well for the future.
As France ambassador to Ghana, I'm delighted to say a few words on the occasion of Channel One TV's anniversary. Channel One TV does a very good job to inform the Ghanaians. I congratulate you for this important role and wish you all the best for the next coming years. The media plays a very important role in disseminating information, debate, and the exchange of opinions, as you do on Channel One TV. Today, this role is all the more essential as we face up to the problem of disinformation, which is a real threat to democracies. So, the anniversary of Channel One TV is an opportunity for me to send this message. I hope that the media in Ghana will continue to do their job with lucidity, that they can continue to entertain their citizens, but also inform them in an objective manner. It's crucial for all countries. It's crucial for Ghana. Happy 7th anniversary.
On behalf of the British High Commission here in Ghana, I extend my warmest congratulations to Channel One TV as you celebrate your 7th milestone. Over the years, your commitment to civic dialogue, to independent journalism, and to democratic values has had a profound impact on Ghana's society. I extend my warmest congratulations to Channel One TV as you celebrate your 7th anniversary. Over the years, your commitment to independent journalism, to civic dialogue, and to good governance and democratic values has had a profound impact on Ghanaian society. As you celebrate your 7th anniversary, we celebrate your commitment to strengthening the foundations of transparency and accountability here in Ghana.
And that is how we wrap up today's edition of Breakfast Daily on Channel One TV. But before we go, let me take this birthday message. Happy birthday to my girl, Beatrice Badasu of the Ghana Police Service. May the good Lord grant you longest of life with every good thing life gives. Enjoy this day. I love you, from my colleague sister, Wala inside Tesano. My name is Philip Ni Latte. I started a show with Chris Carter before Nana Tufo did it with the guest on the newspaper review. Many thanks for your time and keep watching Channel One TV.
The gentleman who is joining me today, I like to describe him as a true black star. He's a Master Sergeant of the U.S. Army, currently stationed in Korea, Mr. Samuel Amateama, Master Sergeant Samuel Amateama. Hello, let me give you the respect, soldier.
Wow, thank you. I like that.
So that's like half a tin.
No, let's add it in here some more. We're trying to make it rich because I know you're classy. You got to be rich. So based on that, we're going to add. Now I'm going to add something called my apple juice right here.
Apple juice is here.
Why do I add the apple juice? Just to give it that apple flavor. I'm going to give you $100 bill.
Okay.
Hold on to that.
Okay.
This is what's going to happen. Anybody in the comments on social media, do you think it's going to be good with hair with the blue hair or the red hair? Those who want blue hair, just type in blue in the comments. Those who want the red hair, type in red in the comments. We're going to see who the winner is, and then you're going to choose one person yourself to come for the $100 bill. So we have the oil, just in case the butter doesn't work out, we use the oil, okay?
Okay.
Is it hot now?
Yeah, it's hot.
Okay. So I'm going to put a bit of the butter in there. Oh, good.
Okay.
Perfect. Could we swivel it around a little bit, not too much? In there, and it becomes more,
It works.
easily accessible to all. Get some jollof.
No, I trust you, and we'll use tasty. Oh my goodness! Just when I thought you weren't going to come today.
Why wouldn't you want me to come?
Because you come and eat all my food. This is one of my favorite things, and then you're coming to eat it.
What's Cooking is brought to you by Tasty Tom and Kivo Pepper. In a world filled with challenges, we all need guidance, hope, and a lifeline to anchor us.
This is Lifeline, and I'm your host, Fred Crunchy Mensa.